Welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch episode 221, guys. Holy sh...
Is this live, by the way, or is this
No, this is not live, no.
Okay,
for some reason,
all
we're on
right.
like a record train these days. I'm here with Jake, Joss, AVRL. Yeah, we're doing a lot of recording right now and releasing on Friday, which was never an intention to release the episode on Friday, but here we are. So, I don't know. I don't know if it matters, but people at work are like, you know, they're in pain because they like their episodes on the weekdays.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, people. But maybe we'll talk about it next week. Maybe we'll change the time a little bit.
No, don't change the time.
No, we're not gonna move it up, okay? I know,
it.
I know for you, Avril. I don't know what it's at your place, 8 a.m. or something, but don't worry. We won't move it up. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. anymore. But maybe we'll do it a different day.
Thank God. Let's go.
We'll see. All right. We got a really exciting episode today, but we gotta move through it because Jake has other things to take care of in about an hour. You know, it's unfortunate. It makes us schedule really. So you didn't have to include that, Solomon.
No, that's perfect.
DMs are leaked.
Leave it in.
DMs are leaked.
But
I'm guilty.
yeah, it takes priority. It's been really awesome to see you guys compete. Obviously, Custa went really far as well in the OWCS qualifier. You were one match away. So yeah, just take 2 minutes. Like, how was that competing in the OWCS qualifiers?
It was so fun, man. It's been really fun playing with the team again. Our team's just like casual. You know, we like don't do any scrims. Maybe we'll do a warm up if we only have like 1 or 2 matches that day. But if we have more matches, we'll just play the matches. And you know, so it's interesting playing some of the teams that are on a different magnitude of us, of like, you know, teams that are gonna be like, I would say probably top 8 or top 4. You know, those are interesting. But there's a lot more teams I would say in like the middle of the pack, or I guess maybe below that level, that are still really fun to play. And it's gratifying for me to honestly still be able to play in scrims and do well. And we have so many great players on the team, so it's been fun to, despite the fact that we're not prepping that much, just kind of like wing it and still do pretty well.
Yeah, I watched the Uncoachable preview today. Not only did they take Jake last week, but they're taking Avril for this week as well. So I'm expecting you to be on next week, Joss. But in the preview as
We need
well,
Johnny next.
in the preview of this week's episode, Avril talked about how it was really huge for OWCS that the streamer team made it with ML7 and SK, Boger, etc. So you know, that's obviously huge, getting streamers in. So Jake's team was 1 match away. Custa's team was 1 match away with Overwatch. Emon couldn't really get the job done on Winston, unfortunately.
Do they preview like the commentary on that, or is it just me saying?
No. They just want you to subscribe to their Patreon. I don't know. Why am I talking about their podcast? This is our podcast. But anyway,
well, you know.
We're reviewing their podcast, bro.
It's an interesting topic because like it's the more meta discussion there is. I'm not trying to dive into a topic here, but since it got brought up, it's like it's great that they made it. Then you have to remember, like, I don't know if their games are going to get broadcast. Like their first games was SSG, right? I think that's
some broadcast tomorrow.
Can't they stream their own POVs? Like, who cares?
They can stream their POV.
You know? Yeah,
it would be really,
POV, sure.
it'd be really good for them to make the main broadcast because that would be like a huge draw, right? Like I feel like that'd be really interesting.
Well, the elimination match would be on stream, right?
What?
The elimination match will be on stream,
There's
right?
an elimination match, yeah. So maybe
that one will be on stream?
Match.
I think so. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
all
well,
the elimination matches are on stream.
I think as long as they make a game on stream, that'll be really good. Like that's super good for OWCS if they actually make it on stream.
Yeah. All right. For this week's episode, we're spicing it up with some segments. So we got a fun little segment. We're gonna rank all the Overwatch metas. So this was a hard topic because I had to go out there, ask people on Twitter, how are we gonna come up with the metas? Are we gonna write time periods? Because there are time periods where there's like a meta, but then there's like counter comps. There are certain metas which are not really metas because they actually, there's like 3-4 swaps within the meta, so then it's not really a meta anymore. So it was hard, but I tried to come up with 15 compositions or so. So we got 15 compositions to rank, and we're gonna try to do that quickly before Jake eventually has to go. Because without him, I'm sure we'll make bad decisions. But before we get there, I'm glad to announce that after a bit of a break last week, this episode is brought to you by MANSCAPED. Did you know 1 man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer amongst men aged 15 to 35, with April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Our friends over at MANSCAPED have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use the promo code Plat Chat for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Now, do want to say this. With this in mind, you can perform simple routine self-checks at home while enjoying Manscaped products you use every day, like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It makes sense, right? We use products daily to trim and maintain our boys down there. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra features 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth and sleek. With dual LED spotlights, you'll achieve better visibility, making every trim more precise and hassle-free. Don't like making a mess? This thing is waterproof, shave in the shower, in the bath, or in the ocean. And you can bring this trimmer wherever you go to, thanks to its wireless charging capabilities and travel lock feature. In addition to providing the right tools and solution for comfortable and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. That is why they'll be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and balls by going over to manscaped.com/TCS and sharing their funny educational check yourself video. And while you're at it, grab 20% off plus free shipping with the code PLATCHAT, because like a famous American philosopher once said, take care of your chicken, your balls, and your mentals. There you go. Check out manscaped.com/TCS. There you go. Thank you, Manscaped. Yeah. Hey, serious issue, guys. Serious issue, guys. Yeah. And, this is our target audience. It's like males aged 15 to 35. So, if you're in the shower, better check yourself.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
It's a rare piece of genuine good advice on this podcast.
Yes. Wait. What do you mean?
He's not wrong, though, is he? Let's be real. He's not wrong, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
221 episodes of just bullshit.
I wanted to try and fit like a Dante reference in here, but I felt it was too difficult. So I'll leave it.
It's too close to home,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have a transition from that into our next one, which is eat stress-free this spring with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Also, discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and fuel up your springtime goals. Get chef-prepared meals on the table in 2 minutes with Factor's ready-to-eat meals, so you can get back to doing what you love this spring. Looking for gourmet meals? Try meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, truffle butter, broccolini, and asparagus. Wow, this is some establishment diet right here. No fuss, no mess meals. Factor meals eliminate the hassle of prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Simply heat and savor the good stuff. Tailor to your schedule. Customize your weekly meals with the flexibility to get as much or as little as you need. Pause or reschedule deliveries to suit your lifestyle. Factor is your solution for fast, premium meals without the need for cooking. We're celebrating Earth Day all month long. Look out for the Earth Month Eats badge on the menu for our lowest carbon footprint meals. Head to factormeals.com/Overwatch50 and use code Overwatch50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. That's code Overwatch50 at factormeals.com/Overwatch50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. Are we seeing any good meals, guys? Anything that stands out?
Dude, these all look fire to me, actually.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, actually, though.
Well, this is what
Taco Bell.
Ooh.
Oh, you got some little juices right there as well.
Give me the juice. That's what stands out.
Yeah, give me some
juice.
juices.
Oh my god.
I'm low key like what's the apple kale wheatgrass juice? Like I would get that.
Apple kale wheatgrass.
Yeah,
apple goes so
I've
well.
never had
with
that
like
before.
a green drink. Apple's great
Yeah.
combo.
Green.
I am genuinely a big green juice believer, so I'd slurp this up. I'm telling you right now. This is perfect for you when you're competing, Jake.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna give myself a case of those.
You got like 8 matches, 9 of Swiss stage. Yeah, there you
Isn't
go.
Baja Blast green? Does that count?
What?
Yeah, it's about the
count?
same.
It's about the same, right? It's about the same, roughly.
We'll get you the breakfast sausage links. That's more up your
Yeah,
alley, I think,
I'll
Joss.
have that. Actually goes crazy. I love having like bacon or like sausage in the morning and stuff, bro. Sausage sandwich in the morning. God damn.
They got them at Factor Meals.
Get it to your door, baby. Factor Meals. Let's
Yeah.
go. Overwatch.
Don't you
50.
worry. I will.
Use code Overwatch50 for 50% off. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate the support from all our sponsors, helping make this podcast a reality. Now, into today's topic. I know y'all been waiting. This is going to be one of the biggest episodes of all time. Maybe. I just made that up. But I've selected or try to come up with about 15 to 16 compositions throughout all of Overwatch history. So let me tell you, we got a 2016 comp right there. We got a 2016 composition right there, and we might not spend a ton of time on it, but we're going to talk about all the metas. So excuse me if I missed out on a composition, guys, if you're watching, but I really try to do the best job I can, and then we'll see where the composition or the conversation goes. Anyway, Solomon, let's pull it up. Let's pull up the beautiful tier list you arranged us in the most colorful little pattern. Oh my god, it's glorious. It's
I can't wait to
We
put a
have
lot
a
of these
serious
nets
rainbow
here.
situation going on here.
Oh, wait.
damn.
All right, Siri popped off. 1 second.
Siri had to comment about that.
It is the biggest
There's a-
episode
there's
ever.
a
Oh,
lot.
are the double? Anyway,
I-
put most of these in F.
I tried to come up with some of these as well, but it's like trying to remember all the metas was tough.
Well, I'm curious. I want to
there's
ask
so
you guys
many
before we
of them.
get started, and before Johnny gets back, we get your guys' answers.
Okay.
On what basis will you personally be ranking? Because I think we can have all the point systems we want, but I think we just gotta. It's like, what's your bias? Like what?
Yeah,
comps?
I'm down for just pure bias, like
I'm gonna
absolute
go for like
personal
what
preference.
I think is the most fun to like play
Exactly,
and watch, and I don't
yes.
care about anything else. Like I'm
Yes.
not gonna. I don't care about strategic.
I'm gonna
Neither do
rank
I.
it
Don't
based.
give a
I'm gonna
shit.
rank it based on the comps high up will be the comps that Christopher's teams have sucked at, and the comps at the bottom and F will be the comps that Christopher's teams have been good at. So
That's very
He's
basic.
my goal for
poisoning your
today.
mind, Avril. He's poisoning your mind. Don't let it get to you. It's not about brawl. It's not about it. It's about dive.
Could be though.
no, but I think Die will be high up on the list for me for sure.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's my criteria.
All right. I didn't hear how you guys prefer your compositions, but I'm
If
sure
it's
we'll
fun
figure
to
it out.
play, fun to watch, I'm down, bro.
There you go.
Let
And
Siri,
also,
let Siri decide. Actually,
the series aside, yeah, we'll get her take. I know what she's looking forward to. So let's just go down the line. And I've also gotten out some video footage. So if you can't remember, 2016 Beyblade composition. Well,
Wait, are you in this
let
game,
me
Johnny?
tell
Hold on.
you
Let me look at
guys,
that top bar.
You're right.
Look at that. Look at that gorgeous broadcast interface.
Is that Zoms, the Valorant
Yep.
player? Zoms? Oh my god! Wow.
Domination.
And we, of course, we have.
Look,
a
I
fucking
found the most
Johnny-
amazing Beyblade clip. Here you go.
Bro, this crap meta was literally ridiculous. Look at him. Look how early they nano him. He's so far in the back.
He's so
he just
fast, bro.
doesn't
He's
care.
so fucking fast.
Oh,
Holy shit.
guys, this meta was terrible. I'm
was-
sorry. This
it
is one of
was
the worst of all
awful.
time. This is one
It
of
was
the most.
awful.
He got a 4K.
Bro,
Who
did you
cares?
see
It's just
where
like-
they nanoed him
You
to? Think
nano
about
and then speed and then hit Q. Who gives
think
a
about
shit?
the standards
It's-
of modern Overwatch. Like, how could you possibly deal with this? Like,
Yes.
literally, how could you look where they nano him and he still team wipes them? They're so far
Also-
away. They instantly run back. You can't escape. Look at this
Oh,
Zarya.
yeah.
It's like, bro.
For new Overwatch viewers, new Overwatch fanatics, Arna's nano boost gave speed boost, and then you stack it with Lucio, and he's a fucking F1 car, bro. Like that shit. It
He
was
doesn't
so
die.
stupid.
It does
This
a million
meta-
damage.
and he just doesn't
doesn't
die.
die
Yeah,
as
he
fast.
just doesn't die.
Diva Matrix just didn't work on Death Blossom, not completely. It ate like 50% of it. Even if you put the Matrix perfectly on Reaper, some of the damage was like originating from outside of the Matrix. Like now it all comes from Reaper, right? Like shoots out from Reaper. But back then it like apparently was just like an AoE that like killed stuff. So you
Stop owing
even
your own play,
perfect
Johnny.
Diva Matrix, you
That was
couldn't
good.
stop this. Like you perfect Diva Matrix him and you still all die. Like,
Dude, we're
It's
playing
a bad
Ryan
meta.
at Winston. What a great tank.
bad
though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we talk about the fact that it was Ryan and Winston at the same time? What's
Yeah, we
going
were
on there?
ahead of
That's
our
like
time.
that's some nightmare fuel tank duo situation right there. That's the tank synergy that all the 6v6 believers love. I know
So
that's what I'm
true.
saying.
Wait, he's fit.
Love that tank
Why
synergy,
were they
guys.
playing Ryan
I missed
Winston?
that.
It's hard to
This was
defend,
a bit
actually.
for the longest time, and I'm sorry that the first 10 minutes of the podcast just me glazing myself. But for the longest
Meta was
time,
dog.
I was just like, it's the most amazing thing because you have a Winston making space for you and bubbling for the
Wait, they
Reinhardt.
swapped off Winston. Maybe they just were there to do it to get back fast or something.
Well, you know,
You went Zarya, which makes a lot
yeah,
of sense.
the Win swapped to Zarya. He loved Zarya.
But it is crazy, like I would ever even see a Ryan Winston for any reason. It's out of control.
Team USA did it 2019 one time, I think. There you go. So you know,
I
so
mean,
I
there
think
were
hydration
short
when
periods
hydration
where
was
the comp
tacking or something.
Sort
Yeah,
of.
the real team you say was 2017 when they didn't play Ryan Winston. I agree, Jake.
I
This
just mean
meta
it's a rare
is
comp, historically rare. comp.
Terrible.
I think these two ults together, like the Nano Beyblade, it is one of the worst things to ever exist. In the
Just
game. It is so
awful.
bad. It is
It's so
horrifically
yeah,
bad
it
to
is
play.
awful. It's awful to play. Like, what do you do? Where's the count? Like,
There's
I
no
can't wait to
counter.
try and sleep him. Like, and he's fucking doing this fucking thing, jumping around, fucking a million miles an hour, bro. Fuck out of my face. No,
You could
This
just
meta's
race out of the
terrible,
grab.
Johnny.
I
too,
think
like,
if you
no
pin the
fear.
Reaper,
Oh, if I pin the Reaper, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
just
you
just
be
gotta
Ryan,
shadow the
bro.
Reaper.
Just
Be
pin
the
the
only
skill.
hero in the game that
That's
can
a lot of skill.
remotely deal with this thing.
You gotta try and
It's-
shatter a Reaper
it's
traveling
not
at a
good.
million miles an hour. You gotta
And
hit
we're
this
gonna
guy
get
at
hate in
Mach
the
1.
comments for this too, but from some of the old heads, I know for a fucking fact. Rose tinted glasses.
There's no way if you played this
like,
meta,
at
you were
least,
like, yeah, this
this
seems
thick
good and
rose tinted
normal.
glasses.
No.
It was bad.
No.
It was not good.
It was a
This-
beautiful time. It was a glorious
A
time.
meta, I think a meta that is completely gimmicky based off not even just 2 heroes, but like a combination of 2 ultimates that were really broken together, just can't be good. Like it's got to be completely bad because of how gimmicky it was. I'm looking through the list. And I'm like, I don't think there's a single more gimmicky.
Oh my god, I'm so
Siri
sorry.
agrees. See,
My bad.
Siri knows
Sorry.
it's a gimmicky
He's
meta.
pissed, bro.
Siri's like, do not nano that Reaper.
Yeah. Do not rank this
I
high.
agree, Siri.
Yeah, I don't think this is good at all. I think this is bad meta. I would maybe give it a D.
It just
Like
feels
that's the
harsh to start it
highest
off as
I'm willing
F,
to
but
go.
I feel like we could retroactively put it in F. if we
Yes,
feel that's
I'm
necessary.
good
Alright.
for D for now because there's definitely
So-
worse metas. For sure.
Really?
People,
Okay.
Yes.
people kind of forget as well
Maybe actually. This
that like slightly after these couple of tournaments, they actually reduced how fast you generated ultimate. So Atlantic Showdown E-League, up until that point, you actually generated
yeah.
ultimates really fast. So you would have nano like almost like every fight.
Every fight. Actually.
Instead of every second fight, you have it like every fight. It was absurd. So that's why the metas were more oriented around like Nano Blade, Graviton, Hanzo, and stuff like that, because you could just like get so many ults that you just ultimate rotation all the time.
Yeah, that's true. And the Nano was wildly broken on everything. It was like Nano
Yeah.
the Reaper, Nano
Because of
the
the movement
Genji.
speed, yeah.
Nano Rhine was low-key completely crazy. Like Nano Rhine with Zarya bubbles and Diva Matrix, you just like he runs faster than any hero in the game and 2-shots everything in the game with
Yeah.
AoE. It's like really crazy. Without that's not his ult. His ult is a stun. Oh god.
Yeah.
So,
All
yeah,
right. I would not need to spend too much time on this, but I
Yeah,
did
let's-
want to glaze myself for a bit. So yeah,
Quad
give me a D.
tank.
Come on,
Is
give
that
me a
up
D,
next?
guys.
I'm just looking down at that list. Quad tank.
Here we go. Next up, NIP. Zarya,
Yeah.
Winston, Reinhardt, Roadhog with Luciana
Oh, tank synergy, guys. Big tank synergy moment.
versus Custa.
No, we played this in NA a lot, but with Diva instead of the Winston.
Yeah, I couldn't
So we
find a great
played
VOD
Ryan,
before.
Zarya, Diva, Roadhog, and it was just because how broken the Nano was. It was like we're gonna farm Nano
Yeah.
every fight and give it to Ryan. Or occasionally we had like the different ult combos. You could like if you really needed to kill them, you do Nano whole hog in the grab, and it's like you kill anything. in the
Yeah,
game.
that's a classic.
Or just
That's
Nano
so
Ryan.
classic.
What's the
on
two?
grab.
What's the 2 supports on the left? Like, it's too pixelated for me to see.
Should be
Is
Ana
it Zen?
Oh, it looks like it's Zen.
Yeah,
Lucio.
Lucio. It's Zen
Lucio.
Fnatic.
Zen
And
Lucio.
That
Ana
doesn't, that
Lucio
doesn't seem
for-
like nearly enough healing to me, but I might be crazy.
Oh, did
This
you watch
don't worry,
Iron's
guys.
video?
There's a soldier.
No, they
the
got Soldier
soldier's got a
76,
pad.
bro. He's
Yeah,
got it.
guys, the extra support with the pad.
He's got it. I mean, they're trying to counter the tanks, right, with Discord, but
The one thing that's like insane to me is like looking back now is like, was there really enough healing with just Lucio Ana? I mean, clearly there was, but to me,
yes.
I'm just trying to like think
Lucio
like,
Because
Ana, yeah,
Ana's
absolutely.
nade gave 2x heal, not 1.5x like it does now. So
It was
like,
absolutely.
so you
Okay.
nade and then amp and then it's
you
just like okay,
yeah,
everyone's good.
you just nade it. And honestly, I could be wrong about this, but I believe Ana currently it doesn't consider it her heals if you amp heals with nade. They might have changed that at some point, like where then like if you Lucio amp naded guys, that like Ana would get half the ult charge.
Is
Yeah,
that a
crazy
thing?
about
Has
that.
that ever been a thing?
I wonder if that. I feel like that might have been
That
a thing, but
sounds
honestly,
crazy.
I'm reaching.
It
to
was so
find
long
the
ago, I
facts.
can't remember. Oh, look at him. That's
But I
Scott.
definitely remember
That's,
it wasn't a problem to have Nano every fight. Like if you don't have
Yeah.
Nano, you just chill. for
Well,
a
you're
few
also
seconds
healing
until you get Nano.
tanks, so like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
health
So Ana's
pool, like,
perma shooting people she can't
yeah,
miss on.
exactly.
Nading,
And-
cycling
oh,
nade on a team over and over
That
again.
was back at the time as well where Ana couldn't shoot through full HP heroes. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
And
true.
dude, you were
Ooh.
like, you were fucking hitting people in the back, and you were trying to heal the other person next to them. Shit was so annoying. Oh
What-
my god,
What,
that was
what
irritating.
tournament is this? His stage is huge.
This is DreamHack Winter.
So what are we talking? We're talking quad tank now.
2016.
What's the quality of quad? I mean, quad tank, dude. It's such a blast from the past for me. I'm very nostalgic for quad tank. It
mean,
was like a really
yeah.
good comp for our team.
Oh,
back
come
in
on,
the day.
it's
but it's not a
literally
good
the
meta.
worst
It can't be good.
part of like Overwatch.
Yeah, I
Like,
think like early Overwatch, especially, like people look back and say, "Oh, it was really great, and all the metas were really fun in pro play," and then you look back and it's like, "Wait, it was 3 or 4 tanks, and then it was just heal bots. This shit sucks."
Yeah, the whole
Like,
game was
to-
just ults, right? It was like about
Yeah, and
cycling
like
ults,
there
ults
were-
are cool.
there
Don't get me
were a
wrong.
few-
Like
You can play a few different things.
Right. Okay, sure.
If
but,
Fnatic
like,
might be holding in that clip with Zen. Like it looks like it's working.
I don't think any meta
should've
with
played
like
D.Va on the other team.
maybe we can talk about GOAT. Obviously, we'll talk about GOAT in a minute, but like I don't know. For me, quad tank was it wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, the
pure
pure
it-
rotation metas I don't think are that good.
It was really boring, but you know, there were
I'd put it in
yeah,
D.
quad tank really bad for the game. No one liked it. Come on now, it was terrible. Put it in F. Put it in F. But I didn't put it in here actually because I cannot forgot. But Takeover 2 as well, like triple DPS was a thing. It was like Genji Soldier Tracer.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
I
a thing
remember
for quite some time. Rogue in 2017 were really good at that. That was a French team, not with me on it.
I don't know that quad tank is worse than Beyblade, and the reason for that is because Beyblade meta is so gimmicky. At least quad tank, you have to like to me play Overwatch and play like a 6v6, and have some like some teamwork with
They're playing 4
tanks.
tanks.
That's silly.
But you don't auto win from
It's
just
not-
one ult combo. At
It's
least.
not
like you do have
nanoing
to press
a
your ults.
Reaper in. It's not
well.
nanoing a Death Blossom in and just winning. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's so silly. Just nano Death Blossom and you win. Think about it.
Are you guys calling me a fraud? What's going on here?
Did you play quad tank too? If you play both, then don't worry.
No, we never really
it.
could make it work. Because those guys, NIP would always beat us at it, so we were like, we can't win playing quad tank. So
I think
would
I'd
we?
personally
Finnish
prefer
players.
quad tank than Beyblade.
Agree.
Beyblade.
Agree.
I
Beyblade
personally
is
think.
that's a legend meta, legend bad meta.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can't believe you
Reaper,
guys.
very boring character.
All right.
At least quad tank isn't like there's like lots of different ways you could use the ult combos. It's not just one exact way you rinse and repeat over and over again. It's so strong. Like
Yeah, I think it's
All
good.
right.
That's a good point.
Let's restart the episode and then we can start going up again. All right, we can't spend too much time on this. All right,
Yeah.
so now we're kind of like getting into it. So I put 2017 pure dive here. It's kind of like
Isn't
Apex
this the
season
gold
2,
standard?
Apex season 3, Apex season 4. Right here we're seeing seeing Sombra Tracer being played. We're saying Genji. So
Look at this.
this was a
Lucio's
time.
the only
is
healer.
Overwatch,
Lucio's the
baby.
only healer. Check that out. Whoa.
Let's fucking
Oh,
go.
because
I
Sombra could
remember
heal
these
as well.
comps.
Sombra could
Sombra
heal with
could
the-
heal,
Oh,
yeah,
true.
with the
Yeah.
packs.
Sombra was hacking the mega. Oh my god, this
Yeah.
is one of the most abusive comps in the like. You just farm this mega and you get EMP every
So dumb.
fight on
It
Temple of
was so
Anubis.
stupid.
And like literally, I'm not kidding you. We would have like full on use all the ults team fights just to control the mega when the hack was gonna end, so my Sombra can hack it and take it for the other side. And the rest of the game, we're just fighting to keep the mega hacked.
If your
EMP to get
Sombra
the
lost
mega
that
hacked.
health pack, you literally like almost lost the round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
it's
attack,
so bad.
you'd EMP to get the health pack straight up
Yeah.
worth. Like,
Well, it's very map specific. I remember, like, I'm glad we're watching Anubis here because this is the the
this is the
map.
pinnacle of it.
This is like this is the pinnacle map for the Sombra like health pack strat. But I think typically speaking, a lot of maps I remember, because I cast a lot doing this meta as well, it was Lucio Zen. It was one of the few metas where you legitimately played Lucio Zen. And I just said, like, on the other comp we saw, it was like Lucio Zen enough healing. But here, it actually kind of is, because you're mostly playing flankers and divers. It was a pretty DPS heavy mechanical skill meta. So I did enjoy this meta a lot. Like, me personally, when I casted this, I thought it was kind of did feel like kind of pinnacle dive at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree if it's completely pinnacle dive, but it felt pretty high level when I remember this.
I agree.
I think this has got to be the
there's
gold
good
standard
fucking
for
characters in the.
Overwatch
Oh, look at Bastion. He can't move. He's just a turret.
He's locked in, bro. You can't
He's
move him
locked
either. He's
in.
like doesn't care
Dude,
about
that's
that.
so
primal.
sick.
No
He's got the
respect for
heal
that
too.
primal.
Oh, look at him go.
Yeah, I remember old Bastion ult went
Oh,
crazy.
no.
Old
Yeah,
Bastion ult
it
was
so
a
fun.
monster of an ult.
I think
I
this
remember-
okay. This comp, like this meta, is minimum of a C, just
I think
because
it's
Tracer
minimum
Genji.
A.
Yeah, like just
Come on,
because of
what?
those two.
This is the
characters.
gold standard. What comp is like
Sure,
more
no,
desirable
but like
than this?
if any meta, so okay, my point is, if any meta has a Genji and Tracer in, it's minimum C. It's minimum mid tier. It, like doesn't matter what the other heroes
that might
are. boom,
only be this meta. Funny meta I can think of.
Really?
You have
we
both
haven't had
Genji and
we haven't had
Tracer.
Lucio. Yeah, we
Oh,
haven't had Genji
yeah.
Tracer a lot.
Genji Tracer
This is
a
like
lot.
the
That
only
might be.
Genji
This is
Tracer comp.
D1. This is might be D.
I think we.
comp
I
with
think
Tracer Genji.
it's either A or S for me. Personally.
Yeah, it definitely. I wouldn't say S. I'd probably put A for now, and then we can maybe move up a little bit later.
So some
Like,
backstory to the
I'm an
2017
believer.
pure dive as well. So this was a time where the design philosophy from the developers was, unlike now where we get like mid-season patches, we get patches, we get hot fixes, all that stuff. This was actually a time where Jeff Kaplan was pretty vocal about, we want to balance the game very little, like we want to stop abusing like points with D.Va and stuff like that, but in general we just want to let the meta develop. And I couldn't find the blog post, but I'm pretty sure somewhere it was like likened to StarCraft 1 back in the old days, where like the meta always went from like, oh, sometimes the Terran is dominating, sometimes the Protoss is dominating, and not because they changed the game, but just like because the game evolved. And their thinking was like, the game will evolve from this eventually, but we just had dive for like forever because they didn't really patch the game. And so a lot of 2017 was just Winston comps, where you change between a Genji and a soldier, and you'd have, the Sombra stuff, but you pretty much always had like a Winston Tracer Diva for like the longest time almost. So not always, of course, there was some far end there. I think GC Basam played like Far Mercy at some point, but like there were some exceptions, but for the most part, it was pretty much dive all year.
You change the support, you change flex DPS, but I don't think you change any of the other heroes for a very long time. Like Lucio, Winston, Diva, Tracer are almost permalock, and then you can consider whether you want an Ana or a Zen or a Sombra on your flex support, and then your Genji could play hit scanner Genji, or vice versa. Maybe the Tracer player swaps, but then usually you always want Tracer. But I mean, in the end, it's like one of the metas that I think one of the things people really liked about season 9 in Overwatch 2 is that it's a meta where there's not enough heals to go around in an extended fight, and that's like the point. Is you're running more damage to kill them first. People will die. Like, you're never gonna have a clean fight with this comp where no one on your team dies and you sustain perfectly and you out ult them and you're just still alive with everybody after you win. It's always going to be like a big trade fight, which I think is something people really liked about it. It always felt close. I mean, unless you're getting super stomped. But
all 6 heroes in the comp is like high skill ceiling, super pop off mechanical heroes, which I enjoyed. And I generally like low heal, high kill, high damage type of composition. So this was right up my alley.
All right, where we're ranking this? We're ranking the 2017
A minimum
dive.
for now.
I'm
happy to put it near S. Yeah.
S, man.
S. Yeah, I'm down for S.
The golden
S
days.
right now.
This has got to be the most golden days comp of all time in Overwatch.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, I even maybe I'm rose tinted glasses, but I think this meta was like really desirable.
Oh yeah, of course. But
I'm not rose tinted glasses about all the old metas though. So this one is very.
I think it's pretty universally agreed that everyone loved that meta. All right, moving on. We got many more metas to go. 2018 Jjonak comp. So this is kind of like stage 2, stage 3 of the inaugural Overwatch League season. There's a few different damage picks you can pick here, but for the most part, it was a lot like Mercy, Zenyatta. And obviously that enabled Jjonak. We had the whole Jjonak syndrome thing where I think it was like Sleepy on the shock, which is like, pocket me like Jjonak and I'll pop off like Jjonak. But obviously, there's more stuff that goes into it. But you can see are these the right compositions?
I mean, this is a variation of it with like Orisa, but like what New York's playing is pretty much the stock standard.
But yeah, I mean, Jjonak, he was the MVP of the regular season because of his Zenyatta playing compositions like this.
But he was so good.
What was the normal second DPS? I have to imagine it wasn't always.
It was probably
Widow, right?
A lot of Widow and Cassidy.
I think you could swap
the pine time,
Cassidy. No, but I think Widow was really dominant back in this. Like, you might play Cass on certain maps, but as my recollection is that Widow was really dominant this meta. That like the one-shot kill across the map, and like Walls is a game changer for this comp. You have Walls with Mercy, Zen, and Tracer. You're so much less scared. Like, the main flaw in the comp is that you're vulnerable to getting bursted, but
this almost sounds like a Widow meta, not a Zen meta, Like, that's what it sounds to me. I'm trying to remember, like, exactly how this played out.
Zen was, I would say, just as dominant. Like, you never swapped to Zen, but I feel like Widow was pretty strong. Like compared to the other hits scan. I think this is before Ashe existed.
Cool.
Yeah, it was before Ashe.
Yeah, I think it was like Widow or Cass or Soldier, but like even Cass was like, well, you could run a stun, but yeah, I guess something like a Genji seems more realistic than a Cassidy and a Widow, at least.
Yeah, this meta was good. Again, high skill heroes, really fun to watch. I think everybody could have a pop off moment, and I think that was what makes the meta also really fun. Tracer could go crazy, Widow could go crazy. The Zenix, apart from the Mercy, I suppose, but that's fine. 5 out of the 6, I think.
I mean, the Mercy went crazy in this comp. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you about the most broken hero.
Well,
this is
I mean, like
Valk,
crazy,
right?
like
this is early Valk, not
she ain't
the very first Valk
down,
patch.
surely.
I don't
think this is not double raise, right? I'm pretty sure this is
not
post double
raise.
raise.
No,
yeah.
but Valk was
like
a lot better back then. Valk was like
right.
They have still, since today now, they've nerfed the speed you move at really drastically over time. So like back then, you press Valk and it was like, stop shooting at the Mercy you're throwing to even attempt this kill as a throw. Like, it's so unlikely you don't try anymore and you try to kill the other people through Valk, which now is no longer true. Like, you can't just be in the open with Valk and against strong players.
especially with DPS.
But this was like, oh, she pressed Valk. We're done with that. Let's move on to a killable target.
Yeah.
Maybe she had like more regen or something then too. I can't remember exactly.
She had
definitely...
perma regen, right? When she was Valking.
Yeah, I think
she was
still have
always
that, no?
regenning.
You still have perma regen, no? But maybe it's not as good as it used to be.
It's definitely not.
I feel like it was mostly the movement speed. This year was like warping around the map with the Valcon. It's like, I wonder if you see any clips of somebody shooting a Valking Mercy. I'd just be surprised if they hit any shots.
I really like this meta.
The classic. Oh, what a classic combo. The flash fan.
I'd say this is an A, I think, as a meta. I still think that the other dive is better, but
I'm not a big fan of like any meta that has Mercy, so it's not S for me. I'm willing to.
I'm at a B on this one. I think it's decent.
I'm probably with Jake. I got to downgrade it because of the Mercy, but other than that,
the Mercy is very cringe. But yeah,
well, these rankings can change, but I think this is safe. For me, it's like a reasonable. I think it's not a bad meta.
Imagine that Jaws nearly gave a Mercy meta a pass. Unbelievable.
So
every other hero in the comp was cool. Every other hero in the comp was cool, man. Tracer, Widow, Zen, like Monkey, Diva, like that shit. That's cool as fuck. Mercy is cringe. Like, you get the -1, but you get the +2s everywhere else. Yeah. You know what? Put it with B for now. Sure, why not? I put it in A personally, but yeah, this is fine.
Is this before they even had the res animation? I can't remember. They maybe only had one res, but it's instant. Or
dude, I loved the double. Oh my god, I'm gonna scream.
The double insta res was something special.
Yeah, I bring up all the time, man. But like, there's one clip I remember, and it was against LA Valiant, I think, because I remember Custa in the kill feed. And someone hit, it's a Nubius. Some Widow player is like far back left on the defense on first point, looking at that small little crack at the mega, on the right-hand side. When people would pass through and then the Genji could climb the wall, like go through the thing. And someone lands like an insane shot, like a Widow make a headshot, like boom, fucking clip somebody. And then the Mercy just goes, E! And it's just like, wow, that was really awesome.
Nice pick, bro. Nice pick. They have one less res. Let's push.
Yeah, exactly. Let's push. Like, oh god.
So we're actually supposed to have double res in there, but I didn't see it in the thing. So maybe we forgot
maybe we just ignore
double res.
That's the comp I played Junkrat in. Is the double res.
Yeah.
Mercy Ultra.
Yeah, you made top 3.
We've got to add in a new meta right now if we can.
We're gonna put it in F.
Oh, you got top 3. You lost to London in the stage finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, I do have a clip from there though. What would you rank the double res meta?
You mean so double res? I sort of think of it in a weird way because I think of it as that's the meta I played Junkrat, and me and Lixer played Junk Widow. We had the Junk Widow, Orisa Diva, Mercy, Zen, I want to say.
I rewatched the stage 1 finals. It was horrible. I'm not gonna lie, Jake. I'm sorry.
We played really bad in that match. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't watch that match.
I think we should have won that match if we played better.
But I was the London Spitfire, New York Excelsior one because I think it was a 7 map, and oh my god, it was so lame. This meta
sucks. This meta just straight sucks. If you say it doesn't, then you are delusional. Like,
this is my peak of my rose tinted glasses, guys.
I didn't ask.
I got to play Junkrat for like.
I literally don't care. Like having a double oopsie, made a mistake button, and it's not even like a channeled one. Like, bro, that shit is the most boring shit of all time.
Each team had like 8 lives per team fight. It was crazy.
Right? Yeah, and like think about it from like I'm thinking very much from like a play-by-play perspective as well. Like, whoa, the Widow fucking put. Oh wait, no, don't worry. They got.
Yeah, exactly. Like the res was by far the most problematic thing here.
Yeah, it's the most anticlimactic meta, I think, or one.
So they're not even playing a second support. They're just playing Mercy Junk. They're saying triple tank Widow Junk with a Mercy just to farm Valks faster.
They got Zen on Spitfire.
Yeah, but I mean, New York's not.
Oh, New York's gone. Yeah, just the hog.
No, also just like aside from the anticlimactic factor of like people getting raised, it also just extended team fights and extended the game way too long and made everything like.
It was a lot of like hard to. What a hook though! Sheesh! What a hook!
That hook was so slow.
That was nice, man. That was nice.
Yeah, it just
look at that. Oh, what another one.
That's another really good point, actually, AVRL. Any meta, I think, just as an overall, that you see fights last in the minutes, like 2-3 minutes sometimes, is fucking boring. We'll get to it in a minute.
We'll get to Goats in a second, guys. Goats is coming up.
Big symptom of that as well. Yeah, I mean, technically.
Yeah, I feel like. What do you guys think about like a D for this comp?
I would put it lower, but.
Maybe is this an S tier comp?
I'll put a D. I
don't feel like this comp was quite as bad as Beyblade. For me, Beyblade is like almost incredible.
Wow,
how
I feel
bad it is.
terrible
Like
now.
if you really
Beyblade
think
is
about
worse.
what Beyblade was,
Beyblade is worse.
it was
I
like
feel like you
no
took my
interaction
roasting
between the
glasses
teams
and you,
other
like,
than
stomped
farming
on them.
results.
You like
I
crushed
think
my
you
roasting glasses.
I think you guys are very wrong because having fucking 8 lives per team fight is very boring and it makes the game very slow.
no,
and
yeah,
it is just
you know, I'm on your
grinding to
page,
a
but
halt.
at the same time, you got Widowmaker in there. You know, you
Yeah,
got,
Widow's
you got
cool, but
Broda
you know what's
Cook in
even
there.
cooler, Johnny? When I can just hide around a corner, press the E key, and insta-res somebody, and then just.
I feel like what made the comp interesting was just that it was like playing capture the flag instead of Overwatch. It was like the flag is the enemy team's mercy. Like if you kill the
my
enemy team's
God.
mercy, you just win. Like it's so it's like both teams protect the president against the mercy because you know about the res, right? So you want to just kill mercy so she can't res. So that I feel like that made it
It
something
is so
interesting, but maybe that's
centric
only from playing
around
it.
one character that
Yeah,
it
that
is
is
kind
true.
of the same thing as the Beyblade minute. It's so
Yeah, yeah,
centric around one character that it is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it makes the game very.
I
stupid.
think it's F straight out. Makes the game very boring.
I vote
Watch
D.
and play.
Jake vote D as well.
I'm a D.
Sure.
I'm a D
Yeah,
believer.
I
Thank
roll.
you, Johnny.
I
D
think
for delusional.
I
Okay.
almost I almost think you need like I'm sorry, Joe. You need like an even lower than F for quad, and that's for like Beyblade, and then you get to put
What?
and then you get to
What
put
are you
double,
guys
double
talking
res
about?
in the middle between.
All right, we got enough
Hey,
tiers, guys.
hey,
Surely we don't
Yeah,
need
we
more
got
tiers.
like 4
Surely
double
that's
res,
not the
double
problem.
Double res. At least we played honest
Guys, we have
heroes. We played
6
Ryan,
tiers.
Winston, Genji, Reaper,
There you go,
Lucio,
perfect,
Ana.
that's perfect.
These are
We have
honest
Real.
6
heroes.
tiers
Like
for
this.
like
We
16
played
metas. We don't
honest
need more tiers.
Overwatch.
What
What are these stupid compositions like? Oh, we played 4 tanks so we could build Nano. Like, what? No, this is absolutely
This is fine. This is great.
horrendous.
We should move on. Move
We
on.
had an unkillable character with 2
Watch
resurrections.
top
You
tier.
guys
All
suck.
right, whatever. Let's go to the next. Let's go to
What?
I
next.
hate you guys. My legacy. Unbelievable. All right, here
What
we go.
is this
Grand
one?
Finals meta. This is Flex
Grand
support
Finals
playing
meta?
Road Dogg.
Oh, let's Spitfire Rogue Mercy. Wow.
But
Happy
those
with the Venomine kill? Let's go, dude.
Wait, what was this comp called?
I don't know. There's
Hulk
just a Grand
Mercy
Finals
meta.
meta.
It said.
Wait, so
They
this is.
had-
I mean,
They had a
this is
giant
like almost
patch before the Grand Finals, didn't
indistinguishable,
they? No, it was maybe the playoffs.
Sorry, season 1 grand finals, obviously. I
Yeah.
think okay, Fusion London, of course.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. This meta is like almost indistinguishable for me from
Yep.
the
I don't
last
remember
meta.
this
I guess
meta.
it's just the double res. They nerfed Mercy, but she was still really good. So they're just playing like dive with.
They're playing like a
my
pick comp.
God.
Like
They're playing like double
Widowmakers,
sniper
Road
dive
Doggs.
with Mercy Zen, sure. So it's like mass snipers with Winston Diva, basically.
Yeah.
I don't mind double
Well,
sniper
this is
comps,
Dorado,
actually.
so Dorado is not a good example. But if you can find
That
some
is
other
true.
maps,
They might play
I
a
mean,
Tracer on another
Prophet
map.
played a bunch of Tracer in this final. I remember, so like
Yeah.
it's definitely wasn't a full double sniper.
I'm
meta or anything.
sure on a less crazy vertical map you
Oh,
would have played.
Solomon, can you scroll to a different map?
Dude, this is crazy.
What do we got?
So that was
Widow
Sojourn's.
play.
Wow, they're
Oh,
playing
this
triple
is
tank with
crazy.
Hanzo and Farah.
Widow,
Yeah, they're bringing
Widow,
Far
Widow,
Mercy,
sick.
at least. One of the or
Yeah.
both teams.
It's pretty
so
close.
University.
It is pretty close. Well, look at
Mercy's
that
still
arena.
just giga broken though.
Yeah, it's still a point where I think this meta has to be pretty low, unfortunately. I fear that the Mercy
This is
metas
just
are gonna
Mercy
be very
debuff,
boring.
actually.
Yeah.
In the end, you know, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't think these metas were. I guess it is like I think it is very mechanically scaled actually. The metas like this, like
Oh yeah, I mean we could like spend 4 hours on this tier list. You know, break it down like all the skill expression.
yeah, it's true.
Fun to play, fun to watch. How hard were they? Mirror matchups. We're gonna go all into that, but you know, I don't think anyone's here for a
I have
4-hour
no strong
podcast.
feelings one way or
Oh
the
my
other.
god, look at
about
that
this meta, is
shield.
how I
Look how big it
feel.
was. That was so funny. Yeah, I mean,
This
this
is
meta
mid-tier for
again,
me. Somewhere in the mid
it's-
tier, maybe a C.
Yeah.
I'd put it in quad tank. Sure, quad tank.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, okay, all right, yeah,
I feel like
I'll
a
put it. I'll
C
put it.
is.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
fine.
meta.
I'm fine with whatever.
All right.
Nope.
It's
Taking
about,
our line
it's
today.
about to get contentious, guys. We're heading over to goats.
Oh,
I know you guys have a lot of feelings, a lot of
Do you want
opinions.
to go
on
one at
this.
a time? We'll start with AVRL. Feelings on goats. Summed
Yeah,
up into
the thing-
two sentences.
2 sentences. I'll try.
Yeah.
Very boring meta, but I appreciate the
Mhm.
high skill, so I can see why people like it. But super boring meta that went for way too long. This is now more than 2 sentences, but I'm tempted to like rate quite low. Obviously above quad tank because I think this meta had like a lot to give, but it was just to me very unexciting in terms of like seeing skill expression that is actually mechanical and not just ability rotation. So, but I appreciate that people did like it, so I'm willing to put it in the middle somewhere, like maybe a C for me. That's being generous. C for me for this comp would be generous.
I maybe there's a hot take on goats. I think it's not a hot take to say it lasted too long. I think that's like pretty clear. Just no meta will be healthy in like year 2 of it existing. It's not fun anymore. You're not playing any other Overwatch heroes. Like it's like there's a huge problem here. And so goats was like emblematic of a massive problem. They like quote couldn't fix it, so they do like the roll queue. I don't know if that's also for other aspects of the game, but I feel like you could have fixed it without roll queue. You just have to like really rework a lot of heroes and remove some of the AoE scaling, which is too good. But I think goats was like a genie that you couldn't put back in the bottle once people figured out about it. Like I think the start of goats maybe was like the old quad tank and stuff like Beyblade. But Beyblade even was very different. People play cast and stuff still, trying to play DPS. But I think it changed. Goats changed fundamentally how people see the game, and like it was like a huge moment where people I think learned a lot more about the game than they had ever figured out before. Like what happens when you can't get a pick? How does the game work if every fight is only a team fight? So there's no type of like flanking advantage you get. Like what happens like, oh, we have to defend this corner. How should we defend a corner that we will never push off ever? If you play DPS, you don't think like that. You're like, oh, let's like fight them when they walk up and we have good space for our DPS. When you play goats, you realize like, what if we didn't fight them and we just push the car? Like, and then we can win like that. Like playing goats against most other comps was like that. It was like, what if we don't even try to kill them? We just stay on the car and they can't get us off the car. And so we're going to like win every game as long as we don't win every, like you can DPS ult us and wipe us off the objective, but we're going to have 99 and then we're going to come back with 6 ults and we're going to win the round. So like, we don't care so much about what you do. We're going to execute our game plan to perfection and just beat anything. Which obviously lasted way too long, but I think that also really reshaped Overwatch in a cool way where it opened up a lot more of like strategic depth to the game beyond the idea that you always have to kill your opponents first. It's like, what if you thought about the objective as like the core of the game more so than the kills? So I feel like there's like it's like a historically significant Overwatch meta. So I'm gonna say B.
Yeah, Overwatch history. Get a Wikipedia article going. Yeah. I think my take on it is, I think 2 things. First of all, if people like goats because they genuinely like playing a game like that with ability rotations, where the game is about ability rotation more than it is about Widowmaker shooting heads and stuff like that, okay, that's personal preference. You like the abilities more than you perhaps like aiming and stuff like that, and you find that enjoyable. All great, all good for you. I think the second thing that people kind of like misremember with the meta like goats, for example, and we'll get to this when we talk about Mauga later on as well. I love metas where there's tons of easy, visible, instant skill expression. Shooting heads, more or less. And so I would much rather, there's no denying that watching San Francisco Shock against Vancouver Titans in GOATs was awesome. They were the 2 best teams on the planet playing GOATs at an extremely high level, and everything was purposeful, everything was intentional. It was like freaking watching music, just composers just playing, and it was awesome, it was sick. But everything else, watching bad teams play GOATs, it sucked because it was almost like purposeless, like kind of like people trying to do stuff and it didn't work out. It was just failure after failure. It was just spaghetti. Like there was spaghetti everywhere. And I think when watching that is just miserable. So I think when people, they have this like rose-tinted glasses about GOATs, they're just like, oh, it was a great time and great matches. But really, like 80% of the matches sucked in Overwatch League because no teams had like the skill required to really pull it off at the highest level. And so for me, when I'm watching Overwatch Esports, I would much rather prefer a meta with Tracers, Sojourns, Widowmakers, Genjis, because it is so much more fun watching a bad team pop heads than it is to watch a bad team fumble their abilities and teamwork and stuff like that. And so when later on we get to Mauga as well, same thing applies. I'm kind of riffing on Mauga now, but like even Hawk back in the Mauga meta, I was like, oh great, Hawk actually has really purposeful like cardiac overdrive timing. He always tried to get something done with cardiac overdrive, and it was actually really cool to see that. But watching bad Mauga players just like, oh, I'm gonna activate this ability to shoot the enemy tank, that sucks. And so just in general, I prefer the more mechanically intense metas because in general, I think it makes for more exciting gameplay, regardless if you're the best team in the world or you're the 20th best team in the world. And so that's why I hated GOATs. I'm an avid GOAT hater. I didn't like it at all. I love the Shock Vancouver Titans storylines. New York Excelsior was up there as their top 3 team. But to me, this is like a D meta. Honestly, don't care for GOATs. GOATs killed Overwatch League. There you go.
It is very mid. Like as a meta, fun to play, I will say. I was the Zen player, so it was very fun to play. But I think historically significant, which is another plus. But honestly, like thinking about it now and like, oh, would I like to play Goats now? Would I like to play something like Goats? Fuck no. Holy shit, I would rather uninstall the game, like actually.
What are your thoughts on Moira Goats? How do you like playing Moira Goats?
Even fucking worse. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I love spraying piss on everybody, bro, and then just fucking doing nothing else. Like, oh god, it was so fucking boring. Like, I think in general, it was very historically significant for the game itself, not even like for just for the esport, but it is boring as shit to watch. Like, a lot of the time. We had it in contenders as well 6 months before you guys did. Like, I wasn't even in Overwatch League at that point. Also, I was fucking in Ukraine and we couldn't fucking watch Overwatch League, which is funny. I had to stay up to, me and Trooper, like, staying up to like 3 a.m. sometimes trying to watch Overwatch League games. That shit was not fun. But I think with how it played out, like, initially, and like, with the good teams, like, it was really fun. It was great. A lot of micro, which was like really cool to me, and it's still really cool to me. But overall, like, as a viewing experience, terrible. Just a terrible, unless you're like really into Overwatch and like really into the high mechanical skill, like not high mechanical skill, like the micro of the game and like looking, oh, they used their bubble too early, like they did this, you know, like if you're into that, great. But if it's like a more general fan of the game, I think it was fucking awful. And I don't know if it killed Overwatch League, but it definitely didn't fucking help viewership. We had it for a year and a half in
empty
contenders.
Arenas, no one in the audience.
My god, like yeah,
No, I think it killed
seriously,
Overwatch League.
Went on way too long and was
It
way
went obviously,
too dominant.
right?
Like I think it would have been great for the game, like only positive for a meta like that to exist for, you know, a couple months, like a normal cycle of a meta. But when it lasts like a year plus, it was just like
It was crazy.
everyone's like, we don't want to. We want to. I mean, like that's part of the promise of Overwatch is that, you know, you'll see lots of different strategies, and it illustrates the failure of the old mindset of the devs of like,
yes,
we're just gonna like let the game balance itself, because you know, I mean, what they it was funny because they're adding stuff like, oh, May can cleave now. It's like, yeah, but you don't cleave through the Rhine shield and the Zarya bubble that are gonna be in your face. So like you just feel like May is supposed to be good against this, and you can eat the D.Va will eat May's ult like 99 times out of 100 in the comp because it's so easy to do. Like, you don't change any of those mechanics, and you think, oh, May's gonna do AoE now, or Reaper's gonna have more lifesteal, so he's better again. He's good against tanks. It's like a fundamental misunderstanding of the way the game works. Like, yeah, but Reaper doesn't do anything against shields or 10 shields all on top of each other
and Matrix and everything else.
I think Goats.
From a casting perspective, it was fun for like a little while, but like after like the first few months that we had it, I would say honestly, I enjoyed it for a bit too long. Maybe I like enjoyed it for like a good 4 or 5 months, and then obviously when Overwatch League was playing it, and it was like, oh no shit that they're gonna pick it up kind of thing. It was like, okay, great. But then it was like, holy shit, now this is getting really bad. And it was like refreshing for me in a way, like this is my personal perspective, because I got to see like the best teams, the best players play it, and that was fun. But it lasted too long. That's obvious. I think the meta still deserves a little bit of love, though, I will say, just of how, like, and honestly, kind of game warping it was, and actually caused changes within the game that are still around today. Like, maybe that was a big driving force. Not entirely sure if it was the driving force between, like, role queue or anything like that, but my God, if it was, thank fuck for Goats, because, dear God, I can't imagine nowadays if we could have, like, you know, unlimited traces and shit like that. I think at least on the tier list, it goes in, like, a B, maybe a C.
I'm a B lever.
Yeah,
I feel like it's an historic comp, guys. It's
we gotta even out. We gotta even out because I was gonna say I'm with Johnny on D. So if we even out, it should be then C.
C.
All right. C. I'm happy with that.
Sure.
I'll make a final comment. I'll make this quick. I'll make this a quick final comment. Like I'll push back a little bit on what Joel said. Like to me, this is not gonna get a whole. It's not gonna be a big discussion on role queue, but I think role queue came in more to solve a 5 DPS situation, but beyond that,
yeah, it was probably more of a solo queue thing. Yeah,
Goats revealed 2 things to me, like really revealed 2 things. One, as Jake said, the hesitation from the dev team in balancing. Like I know the majority of the player base actually never got to experience Goats, probably a good thing in their normal games and quick. Like I don't think silver players play Goats, right? But what they did play is still pretty stale metas where nothing really changed. Brig was overpowered for way too long. Brig probably did run rampant in even low ranks, right? So it revealed all of that. It like really revealed how slow they were with all patches, and that was when Overwatch probably had its downturn. So when Johnny says Goats kind of killed the Overwatch League, Goats overall is a symptom of something that killed, to me, the game's interest overall, which is when Brig came out and how long things took to change. That led to Goats, but that also just revealed how slow Capital and the team were to do anything.
Yeah.
So
wait, you're saying Overwatch killed Overwatch League?
Yeah.
No, I think Overwatch killed Overwatch League. So yeah, true. Big true on that one.
Hey, I got 4.4k on Zen baby on that season. That was fucking sick.
Also, the second thing that revealed, Jake will enjoy this, is that I think Goats, to me at least, really showed how insane tank synergy is when it's together. Like the real exponential level of tanks synergizing with each other to like an insane degree. Like tank mitigation abilities on top of other tank mitigation abilities, wild. And that's like one of the primary arguments of why I think like, you know, even 2 tanks in the game causes problems. 3 tanks, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I think tank and support are like equally to blame though in the end. Like what makes it work for all the tanks is that they have like an infinite, like heroes like Zen is like it does so much damage, but he has this huge flaw of him being so weak. And you know, heroes like Brig, you know, and Lucio that have this incredibly powerful AoE ability. Well, at least you would need to have everybody all grouped up to like make that work. And same for the tanks. Like, yeah, they're really strong for the people right next to them, but they're not that high mobility. And it's just a way to cover up each other's weaknesses. And I think the dev team for too long balanced the game with a mindset of like each individual hero needs to be like balanced with each other, rather than an understanding of like what are the multiplicative scalars people are combining to make the most extremely broken comp. Like how do we change the way the scalars, like AoE healing is a multiplicative scalar, because if you have 5 people in the Lucio or 6, it's a lot better than 2, you know, like you're doing 3 times as much. It's very hard to balance around that because it just doesn't exist outside of a small group of the players who are like, oh, what if we just never left the Lucio aura for anybody, for any reason? What if we just were like that? We play the game like this. You know, and I think that was a cool thing to be like, let's see, like this is a new way to approach the game, and that would made it awesome. But I think the main thing is just lasting too long. It just lasted a year plus. It's like no meta would have been great for Europe. I think Goats was a particularly cool meta for how much it innovated the game, but just like no meta would be good. Like no matter
2
what,
months
even
fine. Anything more than that? No.
I don't want to play like the Winston Diva dive. If it's like Tracer Genji hard locked for like 6 months, it's like, oh come on, like, well, what about the hit scan heroes? You know, in the end, I think it's important for there to be a rotation of these. There shouldn't be one dominant so long, and that's Goats.
No, it's very true. If Goats was like a 2-3 month blip, then we'd look back at it very differently than we do now.
I'd say fondly, honestly.
Yeah. All right, Jake. I know we got matches to go as well. So if you gotta go, I do want to get your take though. You gotta rank this.
All right.
Rank this meta for me. Just give me your grade for the Element Mystic double shield composition. They played Sombra Doom with double shield. Pull up the video, Sombra.
The Hackfest.
Sombra Doom. Didn't people end up playing Reaper Doom with this?
They probably did.
Most teams played Reaper Doom, but Element
But it
Mystic
was
played
Element Mystic that
Hackfest.
played
This was the Gauntlet VOD I got here going. Oh my
My
god.
recollection is that the Sombra just wasn't good in this comp because the Reaper outpaced you. But I mean, in general, the comp, I think this comp is it's pretty up there for how bad it is. I think like original Sombra is one of the most ridiculous heroes to ever exist. The ability disable for like 6 seconds on hack was like absolutely unreal how strong that was in a game that's all about abilities, you know, that has so much impact. And then like the halt, setting up all your combos, like undodgeable halts, so you just have to play Orisa who can tank the punch, is like the only hero who can. This meta was pretty down low for me.
Am I casting this one? Solomon, is it my voice right now? I can't hear it.
It's me,
Almost
baby.
all double shield metas are like
Is
low
it
tier
you,
for me.
AVRL?
Is it?
I don't know. It was one of us.
This event was so funny because there were so many people from the Overwatch League there to like scout all these young
there
guns.
was. Yeah.
It was nuts.
I have some
all the
shit.
goats.
I have some shit to say about.
I'm
this
gonna
fucking event.
I'm gonna put
My
this
God.
one in like, this is probably pretty close to an F for me. I don't know.
Really?
It was probably fun. It was fun to play Doomfist. It was really fun to play Doomfist, but I feel like this was like not a healthy meta. This was like a one.
It wasn't
meta.
healthy. I agree.
This was like
Let's
a
see
one
the
trick meta.
neutral.
The type of meta where like you play anything else, like any kind of like interesting high mobility dive comp, and you just get like run down. Like,
It was a
you know what I
short
mean? Like
meta,
there's
though.
no like it was one of those
it
comps that
quite
I don't
short.
feel like you could counter. I guess you go like all flyers or something, but this might have been
So
before ball existed. I'm not sure about that.
No, I
actually.
think Ball was.
But ball might have been really
available-
bad. Ball was pretty
Yeah, ball might have been
for a
bad.
long time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this VOD and I kind of want to play this meta.
I mean, this
I'm
is one of
just
those metas.
saying,
It's
playing
like
the
it's like
Doom,
goats. It would be fine
holy.
if it, you know, it wasn't that bad because it didn't last that long. But like imagine, I
No.
mean,
If this went for like longer than 4 months, I'd probably be upset. But
this
like,
is
it was
also
very
like a
short.
MOBA comp. You know what I mean? Like there's no
This is
one.
very short.
You said you want individual skill. It's like, bro, you're not getting it in this comp. This is like a press your skills together comp.
Yeah, no. I'll get
Look
tired
at
of
this,
it.
Moira.
Like a
Look at her
week.
go. Brr, brr, heal everybody. Hit 10 players with my ult. Hit 10. I'm doing good. If I'm,
Whoa!
Sparkle, my
they halt
boy.
that. So you can't dodge that, by the way. It's because you don't have any skills left. You die because they're halted into it. So
On the hits the diag.
it was a nice ult, but it's because
the
you ran out of
reason-
skills. You
I think the
died.
reason I like this meta is because it was after goats, so I was desperate for anything but goats.
Yeah.
So I
This is
just
the
took
ultimate
this. I
roast
took
into
it out.
glasses. It's
Yeah.
not goats. Is its only appeal. It's not goats. This was people trying to recreate goats with new heroes, with DPS heroes instead of the tank and support.
Oh,
This
amazing.
is the 222 like remake goats. Two of the most tanky frontlining DPS. Lucio Moira.
Yeah, I actually don't remember too much from this period of Overwatch right here.
Shining
I just
spot.
know that it was very like significant. Like the Gauntlet event was like huge at the
Yeah.
time.
All right, guys, I'm gonna roll out, but
All
good
right,
luck.
goodbye, Jake.
All right,
Jake.
good luck, Jake.
Goodbye.
You
Good luck
win
in the tier
these.
next year.
Bye,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll be in the Face of Master League next time we talk.
so true.
All right. See you
Oh,
guys.
Shake the
boy.
Masters,
Oh,
cast
boy.
the Masters. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
this
go.
is the Masters I'll go to. All right, see you guys.
I think this meta. So I got a few things to say. I got a few things to say about the event actually as well.
All right, let's hear it. So, this is gonna be leaked.
Can we keep the
event
vote on?
ever. Best event ever.
Can we keep the vote on? I just like watching Sparkle play the game. So I have a couple of things to say about this meta. I think it was very fun for the time because yes, it wasn't GOATs and also it didn't last very long. But a big symptom of this meta and what made it bad was double shield. And I genuinely think double shield killed the game for me personally, and I think it killed the game for a lot of other people as well. Double shield was the most like not toxic like as in like to another person, but like one of the worst metas to play in like spectate as well. Because holy mother of God, if it was like any other kind of DPS, that's not Doom, that's not like Sombra who can like kind of poke and then Doom goes in with like cool fucking sick combos and shit, it would be so fucking boring. Because double shield in itself is just like we just fucking stand there. There's the thing on Gibraltar, right? The shock, and they're on the fucking high ground on the spaceship, and they just got double shield in front of them in a bastion. I think this really what killed my love for Overwatch, at least for like a little while, because double shield and just standing behind it is fucking boring. Like, although this meta does hold a special place in my heart, at least because of like the significance of us leaving GOATs and then going to something with DPS. And also like Doomfist being like really good. Like, and Sparkle playing Doomfist was fucking sick.
Absolute
like,
cinema. Absolute
yeah,
cinema.
it was. He was the best Doomfist in the world. And like I'm still kind of sad, in all honesty, that Doom got changed into a tank because I really also like playing Doomfist as a DPS. But he was probably more healthy as a tank, let's be real.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to say about the event, two things I want to say. I actually got to fulfill a dream of mine, which was casting in the Apex studio, and the OGN studio. Which was sick. But why the fuck did we work the whole event and then none of us get finals and then they put Seth and Wolf in?
Tell it to their face.
I have done.
Say it to their face.
I have done. Like,
what did they say to you?
I will say that was one of the more like, come on things about the
Yeah,
whole
that
thing.
actually,
It
that's
was my-
pretty disrespectful.
Because we casted all of the Atlantic showdowns, specific showdowns, and then this was like the Gauntlet. Like if people don't know that this is how like contenders used to work back in the day. So we have the two regions, NA and EU, and Korea as well. And we'd have like the Pacific showdown, the teams come and play, Atlantic showdown, teams come and play, etc. And then the Gauntlet was like the final was like the big event at the very end. Like, whoa, no way! It was in Korea, and it was in the OGN studio, which was fucking sick. Which isn't there anymore, by the way. It's completely gone because OGN's gone. And we worked all of those. AVRL too, by the way.
Yeah, I was there.
Obviously, me and AVRL we didn't cast together. It was me and Harry and AVRL and Pixie, right? Yeah. And then they fucking bring in Wolf and Seth just for the finals. And I'm like, what?
No,
Like,
not just the finals. No. They also cast other games, but they did get the finals correct.
Yeah, they did get
also
finals,
cast
right.
other games.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, come on, bro. It felt a little bit BM at the time. Obviously, I don't like hate them for it at all. Like, I love Seth a lot, and I love Wolf too. But
No,
like,
I mean,
it
it's not
felt
their
at the end. I
decision.
was
Well,
just
you
like,
know why they got hired. You know why they got hired. It
Right.
was the visa thing because they were trying to get back to Korea and they needed
they
like.
didn't need to cast the fucking finals, bro. Just walk
Probably
smash
didn't.
them
No, you're
out.
right. They didn't need to cast it.
They didn't need to
finals,
cast the
but
finals,
They
'cause I
needed to
thought, like-
work the event for like a visa.
I
thing.
thought me and Harry did really well. I thought you and Pixie did extremely well at that event. Like, you know, considering,
I mean,
where
this
we were
event
and shit
was.
like that.
I don't know if
like,
you.
come
I don't know if you agree, but this was the event that like kind of like really put Pixie and I at least into the forefront. Maybe you
Yeah,
and
I
Harry as
agree.
well. Like this is the event that put everyone forward.
Yeah, definitely.
So like this was like a giant event. I loved it. And I think like
yeah.
because
Obviously,
the event was
Zeeps
so cool.
casting as well, Zeeps and Connor.
And I remember like they didn't cast this event, but like Connor was still there to hang out. He still came to Korea to hang out. I
that was
remember.
it. Yeah.
And Dogman was in the
Zeeps and
audience, like
casting, yeah.
yelling as well. It was the whole like Inland Academy there, and the Dogman was in there.
Yeah.
audience yelling
I do remember
element Mystics are feeders or some shit like that. You know?
And that's another reason why like it holds a special place in my heart for Element Mystic. Is like easily one of my favorite teams of all time, if not my favorite team of all time. With that fucking roster, look at that. Sparkle Doha, Hanbin, Alpha, who didn't really play that much, Takayaki, Unique and MCD, and then obviously Rush. Like, Rush, the mastermind, bro. Like, oh, dude, that team was so sick.
We'll say like this is the to get back on the meta discussion a little bit. This was the one of the few times I think this and Lip playing Sombra, the 2 times I did not mind Sombra. Every other time, okay, I say that, and then the Atlanta Reign Sombra I think was like a little bit cringe, even though that's Lip again. But it's like that's a different Sombra now, and we're in a different era of Overwatch. We're in 5v5, and in 6v6. Because of like how brawly the game got, like Sombra to me became a breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, this is different. Like this is killing the tanks. Anything that kills the tanks, I'm all for it. Please kill the tanks more.
No, I think that's what made it fun, was because like shit was killable, plus EMP from Sombra was just like, okay, boom, instant team wipe kind of thing. Especially with like Doomfist going in and like hitting like a big slam after the EMP comes in, and then an uppercut to kill somebody. Like. It was actually a really good meta for that, and it didn't last long either. I think this meta is despite it having double shield, I think this meta should be placed somewhat high. I'd say like a B or an A.
This is like the most anti-double shield comp of the double shields. Like you have double shield, which is literally hiding behind 2 shields, and then you have this, where like the reason Sombra and Doom exist because they don't care about shields. Why did Reaper play this comp as well? Because Reaper didn't care about shields. You had the DPSs which just went through shields and didn't give a fuck at all, and that's what made this better than normal double shield. Like normal double shield, I agree, is like completely horrendous, but this is like the anti double shield comp. Like, you know, what is it, the anti-culture club, something like that. And it's like that's what made it cool. And watching Doha and Sparkle play together in a Sombra Doomfist composition was just magical, because they were at the time,
and Sparkle was
at the best time, they were the best Doomfist and the best Sombra player in the entire world, and only they could actually pilot this comp. So like it's a weird comp discussion, because I think the overall meta comp was actually more Reaper, like Jake said, but this is like the Element Mystic special, and they made this fun. If it was the normal Reaper stuff, I would have been fucked. You just, you know, lobotomized me. But because of the Doomfist Sombra and what Element Mystic did, I have more fond memories of this comp. So I'm willing to.
Oh no! I'm not gonna put an A. We're not going that high. We can put it in a C. We can put it with goats.
I think C is
yeah. We can put it with
you cannot put that in C with seats.
Above goats.
Yes.
No, because the problem is it's still double shield. The problem is it's still double shield.
Yeah,
it is still double shield.
And I saw a lot of Lucio Moira there. I can't remember if that was a lot of it, but double shield Lucio Moira.
Rush loves Lucio Moira. It's fucking.
Does.
I will say I agree with you, Joss. I think I literally like stopped playing the game for a while there, because as I was so tired of calling pull every 5 seconds in every single game as a main tank. Pulling, like that was just pain. Like playing Orisa.
Pulling your hair out.
Oh, dude, planting the Orisa shield. I just hated playing Orisa because the shield was so stupid, and all you're doing is call pull. And if your Roadhog is not pulling right, and if your Widowmaker doesn't hit your pull, oh my god, it was so boring. Pull.
Or Sigma Rock or some shit like that.
Pulling.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah,
also, by the way,
Sigma
just
like,
came out.
design-wise, holy dog shit. Like, probably one of the worst design heroes I think.
Supercharger? Oh, like, you gotta... Dude, you watch some of the old shields from, like, the old times, and how they're, like... I think this was a 2020, and they're putting, like, a shield against the wall, and then just, like, isolating yourself. And so the back of the shield is, like, towards a wall, and so the Orisa is just standing next to a building, wrapped in a shield. It was so stupid.
It was so shit.
It was so
shit. And, like, Orisa's ultimate, too, was also, like, one of the only ults that were, like, I just put this down and then we just kill things. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I hit a flux, like I hit a shatter, like a grab, like a diva bomb, or like anything like that. It was like, okay, I put the thingy down and now we just shoot people.
No,
like
Orisa was so bad.
God, that character.
Sigma was unbelievably broken here as well, because he just released and he had the big ass shield that like had a gigantic HP. I can't remember if you guys remember how much.
It was
HP
insane HP. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And so,
it was like 1600 or something.
I can't remember. It was huge.
You couldn't break
it was gigantic shield. And he also like didn't have the cooldown on the shield, so you could just spam it in and out. You just fucking do this with the shield non-stop. It was kind of like, and yeah, so it was a hyper giga broken Sigma period as well. So I think the Sigma and the Orisa were both really cringe in this comp.
All right,
which is why which is why I think you got to put it in C for me.
Okay. C. Sorry,
but it's above goats. It's above goats.
It's above goats for sure.
It's above goats.
Overruled.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 2021, and here we go. I separate into two different compositions here, but they're kind of like the same thing. There was a lot of zombie comp going on in 2021. Solomon, I just saw you highlight the wrong name, but it's all good. In 2021, there were kind of like two phases at the start, and I'm kind of generalizing here. Again, if I'm not getting all the metas exactly correct, like viewers, give me some room here. But at the start of the year, it was all Dallas Fuel playing zombie comp with Winston, Reaper, Lucio Moira, deathballing. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And then in the June Joust, Shanghai Dragons, they figured out we're gonna play Fate on Wrecking Ball instead because we think the Wrecking Ball is better than the Winston. And I distinctly remember this because that was actually a really sick kind of like storyline, how Shanghai Dragons couldn't beat Fearless and Dallas Fuel with the Winston comp, and so then Fate started playing the Wrecking Ball. So the first couple of months was this zombie comp in general, and then later towards the end of the year, that's when we got I think it was more Zenyatta being played. I could be wrong with that, but it was more like a ball dive. There was a lot of ball being played, and you know, we had Shanghai Dragons with Fate, Isayaki on the Zenyatta, stuff like that. I really think that as we get some of these VODs up, it was really this is okay. So this is zombie comp, I think. So this is June Joust, and so we can start ranking this one.
Any zombie comp where people don't die is instant low for me.
Yes.
I think it's like E for me straight away because Lucio Moira, no one dying. Echo's copying divas. 4 diva bombs going at the same time. No thanks.
Yep. This was before as well. Echo got the hate. That was only in Overwatch 2, I believe, or was it in Overwatch 1, where Echo copy got half the HP or like a certain percentage of tank's HP rather than the max.
Yep.
I think Flitter just did a copy. We can just check the HP right now on the VOD.
I mean, yeah, this was like
but
the
it was
copy
stupid.
meta where he got 100% HP, and it was ridiculous because Echo was just absurd. Also, this is also a time where it's full HP, like it's the exact same HP as the diva. It's not like half or whatever the fuck it is now. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's full.
Yeah.
But like, this is also at the time too where ults built faster, so like Echo Dupe was insane. Like it was insane to build, although the diva was eating a lot of stuff. Like, but there's the poke from Echo and like the ability to like survive. So like you get a copy every team fight almost, and the team fights last too long. Zombie cop in general, and I think I've said this a billion times on Plat Chat. I feel like I'm fucking repeating myself every single week, but like any meta with a Reaper or like some shit that's like super sustain is not fun. Like it's just anticlimactic because all you're doing is fucking sitting there and left clicking. Like Moira, like Reaper, like I've tweeted about it a few times too, and it's just like it's not fun to watch for anybody because shit doesn't die, and you're sat there for 3 minutes and you're like, okay, when the fuck does the team fight actually pop off? Like I don't know. This is super low for me personally.
Yeah, E in my opinion. I don't like any sustained comps. I think all sustained comps just drag the game on. Any comp that like stalls the game hardcore when people don't die because they're getting rezzed all the time, or because like, you know, there's too many shields, or because there's too much HP bars with gigantic healing. I think everyone agrees that like the low kill type of compositions are the most boring to watch, unless you're like the most giga 9 head,
time, you mean? Okay.
like yeah, like the slow kill time. Let's just say slow.
Sure,
Let's
yeah.
put it that way. The only people that really appreciate these type of comps are the people like the really giga strategy heads. Like I just want to like look at the game like it's an actual MOBA, and I'm just like, wow, that's
like even
it's an
this
FPS
is
game,
the
guys.
2 best teams. Like look at this team fight.
It's
Like,
sick. What do you
what are we
mean?
doing
There's
here?
the sound barrier. Here's the remake, and they're gonna get in the mech again, and they're gonna do another fucking bomb.
They're duping copy, so they have double defense matrix and playing Reaper Echo. Like what are we doing?
2 self-destructs went off. By the way,
So-
no one died.
Yeah. Overwatch is best to me, and this analogy might not really work, but I'd rather implement features of like it feels like playing Quake in an Overwatch environment more than playing Paladins or
That's what we have now.
whatever.
Closer
Yeah.
it is
The
the Quake,
DPS
the better the
passive.
game is.
Shit dies.
Yeah. So it's really cool movement, and it's a lot of mechanical skill in an environment that is beautiful with cool characters, and you know, and again, you know, it's hard because the game should be for everyone, and you know, different heroes, console, whatever, what have you. But yeah, I think we can agree there.
LF double res that.
Like
That
next to double
bullshit.
res, yeah.
Yeah,
Next
like
double
double
res.
res. Better which one's
Let's
better,
put it
don't
at
care.
F.
It's
Let's put it
bad.
at F.
Sure.
There we go. Wait, do we?
I think it's better than double res, but that's just nitpicking.
I
That's
guess we
nitpicking.
forgot a character.
No,
Anyway.
no one put T on it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm reading Solomon. Yeah, I see. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's all good. It's all good. We don't need to rank this one, but I want to highlight it, Solomon. I want to highlight it. It was the end of year meta, and this is arguably like this was the last event, the 2021 finals. It was the last event of Overwatch 1, and arguably this is one of my favorite matches in Overwatch of all time because the skill level was absolutely insane. It was some of the highest skill level Overwatch I think I've ever seen. It was Shanghai Dragons against Dallas Fuel in the upper bracket match. Not anything of the Atlanta Reign shenanigans. Oh boy, Solomon was cooking during the show, but a lot of it Winston, Sombra Tracer, Echo, Brig Ana being played. I think there was also some Senjata being played. I mean, this to me, this was the last event of Overwatch 1, and it was a beautiful game. This was a beautiful match, in my opinion.
I think this is one of my favorite metas of all time. I think there's like, in hindsight, maybe like Sombra is a little cringe, but like in terms of dive, this is almost as pure dive as the Tracer Genji, although the Tracer Genji to me is like way more high mechanical skill, because the Sombra cringe does like drag this meta down slightly in hindsight, but everything else is so good. Like the ball, we never seen there's no ball in this VOD, but like to me, like what really defined this was like the ball Brig Zen. We are talking about the same comp, right? I'm not going crazy. I think we're talking about ball in this as well. So yeah,
I don't think you play ball here, but there was definitely Fate plays some ball somewhere.
Like
this was like
you're talking 2021 finals, right? 2021 finals was ball.
Yeah.
Like the entire rest of the year after that June Joust game where Fate discovered ball, it seems the entire
Fearless was
rest of the
practicing
year,
ball for like 2 stages.
Exactly, ball became the hero of the meta afterwards, and I think because ball's such a high mechanical skill here, I still think ball is one of like the most difficult heroes to play in the game. Not even just for tank, but for every single role. And ball in 6v6 was a very cool hero in that kind of way. I don't like ball at all in 5v5 for different reasons, but in 6v6 ball, this is where the 6v6 heads can win. Ball so fucking good, very good hero to watch, insanely high skill. And we got to see the best of ball. We got to see the best of also team play in this particular meta because the game had so few updates. Because the game is 0 updates, right? Everyone just like knew the game back to front, and like you knew what was good. You knew how to play the game.
That's actually a really good point. The game received almost 0 updates,
which is bad. But the good side of that is that everyone really refined the game, and so this is to me the most refined the game ever got in the history of all of Overwatch history.
Yeah,
this was at the point too when people were literally counting the days since the last hero had launched. It was like,
because it was Echo, right?
Because it was Echo.
It was like 500 days or something.
It was something ridiculous. I can't remember the exact number we landed on until obviously
because Echo was 2020, and then we were like late 2021.
God, it was
until
ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was insane. And
not showing this VOD, Paris all the time.
Oh God, yeah.
I remember Paris.
Terrible. They took way too long, like taking that out of the pool. My God, terrible map. Yeah, I really enjoy this meta. I think this is something that I think everybody can pretty much look back fondly on, even though we didn't have updates and new heroes and stuff. Game was fun, and it was dive, and it was a lot of high mechanical skill. Yeah, I do agree with AVRL, a little bit cringe on the Sombra, but I think it's fine. You have one cringe character and a bunch of other characters. Well, you can argue Brig as well. It's pretty cringe, but I think at the end of the day, Sombra a lot better now in terms of like her play pattern. But big EMPs and like going in and following in after like the ball or the monkey diving, even as the Sombra is cool. It's just a sick meta to watch. And big like team-wide ultimates, I think will always be really fun as well. Like hitting a big EMP is like a crescendo to a team fight, and like from a viewer's standpoint and a casting standpoint too is really sick. Like hitting a big EMP and then just crunching on the enemy team and just killing them. Or hitting a big EMP and then Lucio or like Zen or like somebody, right? Like, or the Brig, like rallies beforehand or like some shit like that. Like that saves the team as well.
Before the EMP.
Exactly, like stuff like that. Obviously, there was no Zen there or anything like that. But, but anything that can kind of counter or like, oh my God, they survived the EMP. Like any kind of big moment is really cool to witness. And yeah, I think this meta is pretty damn high. Like, a minimum, I think here. I don't know if you can make an argument for S, but I think A
at least
sure.
A. We don't have anything at A, so I'm happy to put an A for now. Yeah.
You
got to fill out the gaps in this.
Also,
list.
as much as people hate Brig for obvious reasons, especially like death ball comps and stuff like that. I think Ana Brig is like a really
cool.
honest backline. It's fun to watch.
Oh,
I
wouldn't
think
call
it's
it honest,
skillful.
but I mean,
Ana
I
Brig
think
came
it's-
later.
I
but-
like the way that the like. I was gonna do a illustration about this in stage 2, but just like the way like healing functions and like how the Ana Brig backline takes care of the team. Like I think it's pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool.
interesting mechanically the way it works. Yeah, you're packing the Tracer, you're packing the Sombra and shit like that, and then your Ana's like mainly healing frontliners, like we'll pop in a few shots there and then you survive. But yeah,
And because
you
Brig
have the
has
most
such
backline in the world,
weaknesses-
but it's cool.
Yeah.
Like the synergy is cool between the two characters.
You have to remember, like Brig in these metas, whether it's Brig Zen, Brig Zen is the 2021 Apex Ball dive, by the way. Brig Ana is like the more recent dive with Winston. But like Brig in these type of dive comps, Brig is also the counter to dive as well, despite being the one that enables dive. And so it's super high skill ceiling for the Brig because you have to land the whip shots, you have to be positioning properly all the time, you have to be knowing who to pack and how to like save your Ana or save your Zen. And Zen in particular, who is just so brittle. This is like, if I remember correctly, this 2020 Apex Ball dive, Zen was 200 HP, like not 225 or anything. No like giga kick that he has now. Like so super, you know, this guy just dies. Zen just fucking dies. And so it's like, it's a very hard game for the Brig. Imagine defending against Ball Tracer Sombra as a Brig, and you have to defend your Zen against that. Good fucking luck. And yet the Brigs were required to like do a lot. So I think we saw the best of Brig play in 2021 Apex Ball. I think Brig play in that meta was even more difficult and more impressive than Brig play in more recent Ana Brig metas, in my opinion.
Good.
It's good. Sorry, I had to add a player to my NBA fantasy team as I'm trying to take down Albert in the championship week. So I had to add Al Horford before their match 4:30 against the New York Knicks. So, you know, wish me the best of luck, fellas. I'm behind currently, and I can't let Albert win our championship game. All right. Anyway. So I did realize here, kind of, that I didn't mention any of the 2020 metas. There were a couple. I had 2020 metas on the board, so we'll go through those quickly. The first one is a double shield variation, and I actually had a Los Angeles Valiant VOD from this one. This is back when Kai was KSP. Had McGravy on it, who was on a Dreamer.
Gig was on there as well.
Gig was on there. Yeah, he played Gig Reinhardt. Oh my god, that was
the Rain Lastro roster. Yeah.
Here you go against Florida
This is
Mayhem.
the Sex Big Dick team, right? This is Sex Big Dick time.
Yeah, I think this was the year too. Yeah, so a double shield variation, but this time with more Widowmaker, Tracer. I think Ash was quite prevalent here in this meta too. Babson.
Still not a fan of double shield, honestly.
Yeah, cool DPS characters, definitely. Widow, Tracer,
Zenyatta being
especially.
played?
Zenyatta too. Yeah, but double shield does definitely. It stops it from getting to top tier here. If it was Ryan Zarya, Diva Zarya, Sigma, fucking anything else. Other
this
than
is after Sig got nerfed though, right? So it's like a healthier version of double shield, but still,
I think this is better than the Doomfist Sombra version, personally, but
I don't know about that. No,
Doomfist Sombra version had more individual pop off.
No, it's not. It's really
because
not.
the Doomfist Sombra version had more like dive engagement. This is just like poke. Hard poke metas do stall out. Is the problem? Like here,
I mean there's a lot of time here.
If here, like
setting up a rotation,
you can just get kills on this poke comp, but at the same time, because there's so many shields, the game also is just slow as fuck at the same time.
This goes a tier below the Doomfist meta.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to give this a shout out.
See it best. Sure. Here. Maybe like below, maybe even a D though, because like still just poke double shield is not.
Is that Shax?
Yeah, Shax Tracer.
Yeah. I remember this is a time period where I had my void take on Plat Chat power rankings, and then we ranked Valiant like 18th, and then they just showed up, and it was who was the coach? I'm blanking on the name now.
Valiant coach.
Gunba was the assistant coach, and their head coach.
Packing 10, and I think
Packing 10,
it's Packing 10, Unter, and Gumber on this team.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Packing 10, which released a book, I think, recently. So go buy Packing 10's book. There you go. Yeah, I think he wrote a book. Go support him. That's awesome. But yeah, the LA Valiant, iconic 2020 team. Before they went full Chinese in 2021.
Also iconic for very different reasons. Iconic for extremely
Oh my
different
God.
reasons.
And then I didn't find a VOD of this, and obviously it's not in the meta list as well. But the 2020 playoffs with Gesture Hog, I think it was Hog Zarya meta. I think Super played Roadhog as well.
Is that the Decay Hog? Is the Decay Zarya meta as well?
Yeah, Decay played Zarya, but I don't know if that was the play-in meta, because that was like a play-in bracket or something. Oh, it was
Wasn't
like
the meta the same? It was like
the
Hog
West
Zarya, right?
qualification, because you had to make like top 4 for the end of season playoffs. You only had 4 teams who traveled to South Korea for the 2020 playoffs. There was Fusion, Shock, No, it was not Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Seoul
Shanghai
and-
was there,
was
but
it
they
Seoul
didn't
and
travel.
Shanghai?
Seoul and Shanghai, yeah,
Oh, okay. There we go.
it was.
Yeah. So I don't know how you wanted to rate the Hog Zarya. I don't have footage of that, but you could probably, yeah. But we got to hypothetically, in our brains, we can't use the graphic, but hypothetically, a Hog Zarya meta, where would you rank that?
I don't
Pretty bad.
I don't hate it. I don't actually hate it. It was like one of the only metas where I thought, like, I don't mind seeing a Hog. I think normally Hog kind of cringe, but like here I'm like, ooh, Hog is like, it was. Wasn't the finals really good? I thought the playoffs was really good. No, like the playoffs with the top 4 teams playing this, I thought it was pretty hype. And the finals were like 6 maps.
Yeah,
Wasn't
I
that-
think one of the biggest contentions was again that like because we came after 2019, I think, with the double shield Bastion comp that we also didn't rank.
Hang on.
But Shock played like this double shield Bastion in the playoffs after playing GOATs all of 2019. And then for 2020, we were like, all right, guys, let's not fuck up the competitive integrity once more. And right before the playoffs, they implemented this patch, which made Decay play Zarya for Washington, which was a fraud team, and they went on a deep run. And also Philadelphia Fusion, who had dominated all year. Like, they had like one of the best league records of all time. It was like unbelievable, that Fusion team with Christopher. And they had like Sado, Fury, they had like 4 damage players. They had like Hisu, Carpe, Eco, and then there was another flex player who I'm blanking on. Boombox, Funny Astro. That was a sick team. And then this meta hit for the playoffs, and Fusion just fell apart. Like they were just like not
Shanghai
good
as
at
well.
all in the playoffs.
Shanghai as well. Like
so
it was.
in that regard, it was a bit of a fraud meta because it's just no competitive integrity.
It's a fraud meta because of the timing. It's not a fraud meta because of the comp itself. The timing is what made it fraud, right? So I think that's the distinction you got to make.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll let you play around with that idea. Is it a fraud meta if you're not playing a pretty normal main tank off tank meta? Like if you're playing double off tank meta, is that generally considered a fraud meta?
It's like, how gimmicky is it? Because then you have to start thinking about like, if it's Beyblade, it's obviously gimmicky as fuck. But I think like Zarya Hog,
I feel like you're trolling me almost.
I'm not like, dude. Jake would agree. Anyway, the point is like you would have a situation where this is the podcast where Jake and I have agreed the most, which I'm loving. You have Orisa Hog, which is super gimmicky because like, oh, halt, and then you get a free hog. Like, come on, that's lame. Then the Hog Zarya, okay, the Hog doesn't die because it's getting bubbles and all that. That's kind of cringe, but at least it's like way more honest. I think the timing is kind of shit. I'm not saying this is a good meta, but I think like the playoffs was pretty hype still, even though Fusion fell apart and to some degree Shanghai fell apart. They're 2 of the favorite teams. I think maybe Shock made it more interesting because Arns played a bunch of Widow as well.
Oh, that season from Arns. That was one of the legendary hit scan season. I put the VOD in the Discord.
I think this is maybe mid or below. I put the same VOD in the Discord.
Yeah, I just saw that. Sorry. A live production.
Just egoed me in the Discord.
Sorry.
I think it's like mid or below mid for me. Below mid maybe.
Yeah. So we got double sniper,
It's pretty
Roadhog,
mid.
Sigma, Merciana.
Oh, that's
It's a
right.
weird looking
Evolved
meta.
past Zarya. It was
But-
started with Zarya with evolved past. That's
Yeah. Yeah. And so Sigma was so good that you could rely on his shield.
Yeah, that's
Which,
what it was like 1600 or some shit like that. It was like basically Ryan Shield. It was very stupid.
a Ryan shield that like you could do as a ranged character. Imagine that.
Yeah, exactly. It was ranged Ryan. It was kind of it was okay. I didn't mind it.
I like double
It-
sniper though.
it
Like,
was
double
fine.
sniper
Double
without
sniper, I
2
think,
shields
is
is actually
quite
kind
fun.
of It's fine.
I
Zen
low-key
as
would have
well.
enjoyed watching like a stage of this. But I think again, it doesn't have anything to do with the comp per se, But the fact that this was just like shoehorned in for the playoffs after a 6th season of Overwatch League, that kind of felt shit. And obviously prior to this, we didn't really have a meta because there were hero pools in the regular season. So there was no meta.
Dude, you could do a whole episode of this again with only 2020 metas. With
ranking the hero pools?
Every single hero pool week is just a different BS. Like,
I remember some coach for like Washington Justice, he was just like, this is so depressing because we get the drawing results on like Sunday evening. And as coaches, we're forced to stay up all of Sunday night to just research and come up with comps for Monday scrims. And then we gotta pray that we came up with the right answer.
It kind of shows you how much the dev team specifically is like evolved too, in like their willingness to change the game. But like at least in Overwatch 2 for the current time, it's like, well, they're not gonna fuck with shit too much that it will just warp things completely around like one character, 2 characters, or whatever. Like the hero pool thing was just so stupid, but
it was definitely like one step in the other direction.
Yeah,
as in like opposite side of the spectrum from GOATs.
Sometimes it did feel like a necessary evil though, like getting dog shit heroes out of the game and then like allowing teams and allowing the meta to be a lot more free. Funny because I think we're right now in a really good time of the game where a lot of things can be played and it's really fun. Like, and there's been a few moments in that in Overwatch 2 throughout the Overwatch League as well. So yeah, I don't know. This meta was fine. It was fun. It was really short. It was really silly. And I think silly metas are kind of fun sometimes. It's not there as long as they're not like too cheese. Obviously, Hog you could argue is a little bit cheese, but I think this is an okay meta. It's very
silly,
mid,
but not too gimmicky.
Mid. Yeah, sure. It's very mid. Put it in mid tier, Solomon.
I think mid is good as well.
Yeah,
I'm happy to like put it like a C. You know.
Can you imagine the sliding doors moment if?
That one was dog. Whatever the fuck that one was, the Sigma one. Yeah, put that down there. Yeah.
What's the sliding? What's the sliding?
Sliding doors. It's like, oh my god, I'm podcast pill. I listen to too many podcasts. But it's basically like imagine a sliding door. Like you go out one way, but then you slide the door and you go out another way. So it's like maybe a different branch in like a tree of outcomes.
Okay.
So hypothetically, had Seoul Dynasty won, how would that affected? I don't know. Like, how would people have viewed the 2020 finals? Because what I was about to say is like, okay, hold on. Okay, 2020 finals. Everyone look back at that and they're like, oh, shock repeat champions. They were an awesome team. That's sick. You know, they made it happen. That was really cool. Had Seoul Dynasty won that finals, it would have been, oh my god, Fusion, Shanghai Shock, all fantastic teams, and then the Seoul Dynasty came on and won because of last minute meta change. So one of the Overwatch League champions would have been crowned this champion just based on meta reasons and not because they were a great team throughout the year. Because I want to make sure I don't mess this up, but I was pretty sure that Seoul Dynasty, like, they just went on like a playoff run, which in some regards just reinforced the profit playoff narrative. So if I look at the regular season, Shanghai was number 1 with a 27-2 record. 27-2, that's insane. Philadelphia Fusion went 24-2. San Francisco Shock went 25-3. So this is all 2020 playoff records. Seoul Dynasty went 12-12 in the regular season. They were mid, and then the playoff patch hit, and they just stepped it up a gear. And obviously they earned their way there in the Asia playoffs, but they beat Guangzhou Charge 3-0, and they beat New York Excelsior 3-0 to qualify.
I'll tell you what, Seoul Dynasty did win the finals, this like sliding door moment you're talking about. I think what would have happened, despite that being like kind of lame because they won off the back of a patch, it would have exposed the fact that the patch timings need to be addressed in some. I think it exposed it anyway, but it would have exposed it way harder.
I was going to say, I think almost every year it exposed that. That's a problem.
Yeah, but it would have been really egregious for Soul to have won that year, and so therefore I think there would have been way more pushback in terms of patch timing, at least for the Overwatch League. So maybe it would have been a good thing.
This is gonna sound insane, but I actually remember where I were when I received the information on that like there was going to be a playoff patch, because it was such like after, again, I think you were away, Joss. I don't know if you could hear me, but after 2019, when the playoff patch hit in 2019.
Oh no, I could hear you.
Yeah, that was like a big point of contention. And so going into 2020, we're just like a lot of talent. We're just like, guys, we can't have another playoff patch. Like, we can't. Like, it's just terrible for competitive integrity. And then that happened. And so I just remember I was like in the hotel gym in my previous apartment. I just remember hearing that. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, this. Yeah, anyway. All right, let's move on from 2020, shall we?
Not wrong.
We're done with Overwatch 1, guys. We're done with Overwatch 1. We're done with 6v6.
An era. What an era.
Here we go. All right, kick us off. 2022. We're not going to rank the infamous beta meta where Kai Sojourn was the difference maker for Atlanta Reign. Instead, we're gonna jump forward to the main melee where Dallas Fuel popularized the Zarya Reaper engage comp, where basically you have 2 bubbles and you just bubble in your Reaper to engage with Shadow Step. Ended up winning main melee with this one, but this was we've seen this before, but it was iconic in a way, I guess, as the first 5v5 meta. I want to sleep.
You know what the most iconic part about this is they lost, didn't they? Didn't they lose to Gladiators in the final?
Yeah, to Glass.
So they lost to the Rhine. So as much as
they lost to
Zarya,
Python Soldier.
yeah, but it's the Rhine that I think actually did the men, because the Rhine actually like countered Zarya in that meta. So the best part about this is that this comp didn't even win the entire meta. So that's my favorite part. That's not a flame of you. That's just
no.
I think that's a good thing. I think because to me, a bubble your Reaper in comp sounds really lame. And I'm glad Soldier got gameplay to like mix it up so it's not like a full brawl situation. But the only reason Soldier even got gameplay was because he was broken because of the old DPS pass, which gave you move speed, stacked with the shift, the run, the sprint.
It was ridiculous. Look how fast he's sprinting. Look how fast he's sprinting. Look at that. That's fucking stupid. Like, it was so ridiculous. That DPS passive was absurd.
I didn't mind it personally, but
Genji and Tracer as well. I much prefer where we are now with the game. I'm going to be honest. Like,
the new passive is way better. I agree. Yeah,
it's way better. Genji and Tracer quicker. Like, everybody's fucking zooming and shit. Yeah, hell no. That was not that great. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like playing against it, at least as a support. Kind of sucked. And Soldier was like perma flank, and you couldn't even chase him. You couldn't even like peek around the corner. His eye's gone already. It's too late. I thought this meta was okay though. As much as it was like bubble the Reaper in, there were a lot of like cool hype moments, I think. That contradicts the statement I made earlier where I said kind of most metas, or like every meta with a Reaper in is quite.
I think Zarya is a good hero though. I don't mind seeing Zarya meta, so that's
yeah.
Part of the good
I think the thing that really aids this being a good meta is actually there isn't any shields really. So like, everybody is kind of like on the flank, going out in the open, like trying to like dance around bullets, dance around fire, trying to get off angles. Soldier, Reaper getting bubbled in, and then Nano, whatever, or like Zarya bubbles and shit like that. I didn't think it was that bad, and it didn't last too long either. And I again, that kind of helps a lot of these metas that were potentially going to be worse if they lasted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus months. So yeah,
I have a funny story about like the whole Soldier running into the DPS passive in general. I remember talking to players at the time, and like, because Overwatch 1 was still there and Overwatch 2 hadn't publicly released, if they wanted to play ranked and actually practice the game, they had to still play Overwatch 1. So despite the fact that, okay, there's 2 tanks, that's one thing. It was especially cringe for DPS players because what they had to do was get used to the new DPS passive moving faster and then play Overwatch 1 where everyone's slower again. So like the mechanical, like the muscle memory was all screwed up. Because now your muscle memory is trying to get used to faster speeds, and then you playing at slower speeds, and you go back to Overwatch 2, it's like, dude, everything's too fast. Like, muscle memory can't keep up. Like, I can't, your mouse in the wrong position because someone's 10% faster now. It was just like super weird. And even like your own positioning, you like went a little bit too far forward by 10%, and it like made a difference somehow. So it was like a really weird period.
That was an unprecedented time in esports as well. Like in general, I'm not talking just about Overwatch. I mean like just esports as a whole, where pro players could not play the game that they were playing professionally all the time. They couldn't queue up for ranked. Didn't exist. Like we had the beta gameplay and like, oh, you could scrim and like warm up and stuff like that, but if no one's playing, I remember specifically like pro players in the Discord being like,
yeah,
any queuers, anybody queuing up,
That's when the hop on Overwatch C, like
hop on Overwatch GIF and like the fucking
that meme that the London Reinhardt GIF came from.
Yeah,
So
because
funny, great
fucking
meme.
hop on
OPR.
Overwatch, because like no one's playing basically, and it's just like,
on
please,
OPRC is
someone
what it was.
queue in the quick play thing, or like whatever the fuck that was the thing at the time.
They had like I think Carter made like a custom, like it was called like circles or something, where like you could actually kind of pug, and back then pugs were allowed because there was no ranks, so the devs were like, ah, fuck it, pug then. So I think there was that as well, but like we had to get really creative to like get people to.
It was
get games in Overwatch
unprecedented
2.
time in esports where like they couldn't play the game normally. Like it
I
was
remember
ridiculous.
Gator was the main tank for Atlanta Serene still, and he was just like, I'm not playing in scrims, and so I literally can't play the game I'm supposed to play.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't get to play in scrims, and I can't go practice to beat out Hawk in scrims. Like, there's no way for me to prove myself as a player because I literally can't play the game. That's absurd.
In the game as well, it was kind of strange too, because everybody knew Overwatch 2 was coming out, and like playing ranked at that time was very weird because everybody was like, I'm just gonna play what the fuck I want.
Yeah,
no one
you were
cares.
just playing 5v5, yeah.
No one gave a shit because it was like, we're playing 5v5 in like, you know, X amount of months or X amount of weeks or whatever. It was very silly. It was a very silly time. But
before we rank this meta, no, pull up the gameplay again, Solomon. I'm about to go off topic. I'm gonna pitch you a fastball right here, AVRL, and we'll see how you deal with it. We talked about how, looking back at some of this stuff, that was just like silly and like it was so dumb in retrospect, and we kind of moved on to a better place now. Actually, Joe said that. But anyway, I'll throw it to you, AVRL. Will we look back, or like, first of all, what in current day Overwatch will we look back at as being stupid and move on from it? And B, could it possibly be that we look back at tanks like Ramatra and Orisa, who are pretty immobile and just sit on the payload for most of the time, and we look back and just like, oh, we should have just had mobile tanks to begin with, and like don't incentivize sitting on the cart, stuff like that. Because I find Ramatra and Orisa to just be terrible for the game. Like, I genuinely don't like them in the game.
So is the question like, do you think like in the future we'll look back and think that right now is silly? Is that kind of what you're getting towards?
Yeah, kind of. It doesn't have to be Ramatra Orisa. That's my take. But do you think there's anything in the game right now that just like we'll move on from eventually and just be like, that was stupid? Like, why was this in the game?
I mean, we're about to get to the meta, but I even think a very recent meta that we had that was in Overwatch 2, the Atlanta Reign Sombra, like, I don't know, like Overwatch 2 Sombra for some reason is just like, to me, this is so crazy. Maybe I'm like real Stockholm syndrome from Overwatch 1, but I actually preferred Overwatch 1 Sombra within the context of Overwatch 1. I wouldn't necessarily want Overwatch 1 Sombra as Overwatch 2, but I think Sombra and Overwatch 2 in general, regardless of what version of Sombra you're talking about, some reason just feels like way more lame as a hero to play against. Whereas for some reason, I think in Overwatch 1, maybe she got skill checked more because there was a second tank who could like, you know, spy check her and mitigate damage. So like Sombra didn't feel as oppressive for some reason. But I think like we definitely stayed on Sombra for way too long in Overwatch 2, and I still think Sombra is a weird, problematic hero now anyway with virus and stuff. So it's like it's
kind of funny.
It's kind of silly.
The complete opposite.
Yeah, I actually agree. Mostly because I think now she's about assassinating and killing people, versus in Overwatch 1 it felt way more about disabling people, I guess.
Yeah,
I think just like
taking away their skills.
Just like assassinating, killing someone is popping out of invis. Maybe like at a high level it's not a huge issue, but like at a low level it's just so.
You just fucking
I can see how virus can be really
You
annoying.
fucking look at her, bro. You just look at her and shoot her. Like she has to fucking go somewhere.
No, yeah, well,
I don't
it's
know.
harder said than done. You know,
It's easier said than done. Yeah, it is easier said than done. But like her like, oh, I'm in the back line. Oh, now I'm not. Now I'm in my spawn. Like that shit was way worse than what we have now. At least like she has to kind of like, you can kind of look where she's throwing the thing and you're like, you're shooting it.
Sierra's always been kind of lame. We'll just agree on that. But like,
yeah.
What else? What else do I think now? I don't know if there's anything now that might be cringe. Maybe like.
We're not getting into this topic. AVRL, I'm going to stop you there, buddy. We cannot get into this, bro. We cannot get into like what heroes are cringe, because we are going to be here for fucking hours. Like
we dealt with Malga fast, guys. We dealt with Malga fast, so I don't know.
I don't know. I just can't with Ramatra and Orisa. I can't. Like, they're bad for the game. Anyway, all right, let's rank
I don't think they're great. I don't think they're amazing. I think this meta is like.
I am gonna go crazy.
I'll give it a B.
We gotta move on. Solomon, please. Can you move us on, Solomon? Can you? Okay, thank you. Holy
Give tanks mobility. All right.
Holy shit.
All right.
This was okay. I like this. I think this is a B. I don't think this was like pop off. Let's go fucking crazy. I think this is a solid meta. Wasn't around for a long time. There wasn't shields, which was quite interesting because we've never really had that in a game of Overwatch before, where like there's not Winston bubble, it's not permanent, but like I think it was cool. I thought it was a really interesting meta.
I think B is fair.
Great. Now people are going to assume that when I bring up Jotes next, we actually forgot about the mid-season madness patch. We forgot about the one of the best times when it comes to balance. Like everyone loved the mid-season madness patch. I agree. Actually, we might have one there as well because I did put a Hanzo thing there. But I mean, there was no meta. The point of the mid-season madness patch was that it was such a great patch because there literally was no meta. You had Fusion play like Belos Ria ball. You had Mikey on Shock play ball. You had Doomfist being played. You had all kinds of stuff being played. Winston, Shock played Kalush Winston or something too. I don't remember. But it was no meta, so I can't rank the mid-season madness meta. It was just a great
patch itself.
Great patch. Great patch. Yeah. So there you go.
Nah, put S plus. Put it S plus. Best patch in Overwatch history. The content creators will say like some like October patch from 2021, 2020, but no, I think mid-season madness like beta 1. Maybe a little biased because we got to be a part of that, and like the rest of Overwatch never got to experience how good that was. But beta 1 before pre-Junker Queen. Oh my god, like the most pristine Overwatch I've ever seen in my life. Zero meta, everyone had their own distinct style. Like that is peak absolute cinema Overwatch, where every single team got to have their own identity and got to like do their own thing. Everything seemed viable, everything seemed fair, and I've never seen Overwatch like that again to date.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
I said at the time the 2022 Mid-Season Madness was the best tournament in Overwatch history.
Agreed. Hard agreed.
With so many teams, so many playstyles. Fantastic. It was great. All right, let's move on. Right after the Mid-Season Madness patch, we were introduced to the one and only Junker Queen. And Junker Queen at the time of the release, with Shout being incredibly strong, bred this little meta for us. Junker Queen, Brig Lucio.
Jotes. Reason why it's called Jotes. It's another big old sustained meta, although this meta was terrible. It was fucking awful. Like, the Genji, the Sojourn, that's pretty sick. That's a cool DPS line. But the whole game revolved around one ability, and that was Shout. It sucked. That was not a good meta at all. I would struggle, I think, to find someone that was like, well, there's always contrarians, but like, there's no shot people are going to be like, yo, Pog, Jotes, Pog. Like, no, fuck off. This meta was not good to watch. It wasn't good to cast. It got super boring, super quick, because there was also no small variations in the comp either.
Don't say it, AVRL.
You don't even know what I'm about to say. I got
say it.
You know, I look back. I look back at this, and I think I hated it way more at the time than I do now. And here's a bit of context. The reason why I hated this comp so much at the time is because we just had mid-season madness. We literally just had the best tournament, the best meta, the best of everything, and then this. So I think the contrast between that and then Jotes is partially what made it so bad. But if I was to examine this comp in a vacuum, I don't think I would hate it as much if it wasn't for the fact that it literally came right after mid-season madness, and in my opinion, kind of killed how cool mid-season madness was.
The hype.
It absolutely killed the hype. Now the thing is, if you played this comp today in the current meta, I would not mind it. The only problem is if this is the only mirror match you get and you can't have any other heroes and you play this for a full stage, it's a bit problematic. Thank God we only had this for one stage, by the way. Yeah. But if you introduce, like, if I see Jotes today in OWCS, some team wants to bring out Jotes, I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting. I'm down for that because I actually think Junker Queen's an amazingly designed hero, one of my favorite heroes, one of like the best heroes that's ever been brought into the game. But at the time, I was cringing because I think she ruined the perfect meta. But in hindsight, I think I don't hate this as much as I used to hate it. I just hate it in the context of it coming right after mid-season. So I'm willing to like.
I think I'll agree with that. Maybe I retract my seething hatred and just put hatred rather than seething in front of it. Because yeah, I think the main problem was that it took away just an unbelievably cool and fun time to play the game, watch the game, cast the game, etc. So yeah, that's probably why I hate it so much. And like I said before as well, no variations really. This was it. This was it. This is.
I'll tell you what.
Abound the shout. And
Despite all roads leading back to GOATs, this is like a way better version of GOATs because at least you have cool DPS. Like Genji, Sojourn saved this meta for me. Like, you got to see some of the best of those two heroes. I mean, we got to see the best of Sojourn forever, but a rare Genji meta. Think about how many Genji metas we've had. Not a lot. And this is one of those rare Genji metas where like it's not like some, bubble the Genji and he can't be stopped and no one can CC him or no one can deal with him. He gets some more HP. He goes really fast, but the mechanics of the Genji was so good. And I remember doing it was Seoul Dynasty versus Shanghai Dragons final for Summer Showdown in Apex. I had a cast that with Trid actually, which is I think the pretty cool that he got a final. Achilles was the way. And Who Are You, Genji? Oh my god, absolute fucking cinema. Like,
He's still at it.
Yeah, dude. That tournament basically got him eventually. I think, put him back into the discussion again, and eventually got him a spot on Mayhem way further down the line, I think, and then got him another ring. But having Genji in there, having guys like Who Are You play Genji, saved this meta from being like complete drivel for me. Like this meta could have been really, 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 really bad, but because it had at least Sojourn and Genji, it was like kind of saved.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons I hated the meta was so much because you just had those mirror matches literally all the time. Like we were driving down to Irvine at the time to sit in our little bus or little studio in a truck or whatever, and we showed up and we just watch 8 to 10 hours of Jotes every day. Okay, 8 to 10 is a bit much. Maybe like 6 to 8 hours of Jotes every single day for a whole stage. Like we were like looking at the calendar and just like, oh, we got 5 more weeks of watching Jotes. And especially as an analyst, it becomes really hard to show up to work and do your job well when that's all you have to work with. Like you're expected to come out after a break and make some really cool analytical point about how after the 12th Jotes match, you're like, yeah, guys.
There's nothing, dude. It's copy-paste.
What was your telestrations? What telestrations did you have during Jotes?
We actually couldn't do telestrations. We didn't have the technology.
It was in the truck.
We lost the technology.
But imagine if you did. Imagine if you had telestrations. What would you do? Okay, here's the 20th time we're seeing the Jungle Queen shout, and then the Genji dives in. Cool, guys. That's the telestration. Well done. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing.
You're definitely limited. Like, you literally do. You can do like a few to start off. Maybe like I give it like 3-4 telestrations that are pretty cool, and then you're like, fuck, I got nothing. But I didn't have any telestrations, and so you just have nothing. Like, what do you say? Just like, oh, they shouted better. Like, if I can't make an analytical point. Just like, yeah, Boston Uprising with Punk, or they had Mag at the time. They picked up Mag. Just like, yeah. If they shout better in the next match, maybe they got the next match.
Do you remember the shout bug? There was a shout bug where it was double apply.
You get it twice, right?
Oh, you got it twice. Yeah, holy fuck. I do remember that shit, yeah.
Oh
wasn't
my god.
Wasn't it when you like entered LOS, exited, and then entered like super fast or some shit like that?
If you peeked the LOS twice, you got it twice.
And it was like, you had to do it super quick. And yeah, you got double shout, and some people were fucking pissed. Because that would like influence team fights. And it was like, it would sometimes be hard to tell, but there was a couple of times I remember specifically on broadcast, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that guy got double shout. Like that double like overhealth. Like, I'm pretty sure that just happened. Like I can't be 100%, but like that was fucked. And like I said at the top of my point previously, the whole meta revolved around fucking shout. So if you had 2 of them, that was pretty good. Like it was so shit, bro.
Yeah.
I'm willing to put this one at like a fucking like a D.
It's the worst.
But
it's down there with Beyblade.
Beyblade?
No, it's not down there with Beyblade.
I think I do like AVRL's point. I do like AVRL's point in the fact that one of the main reasons why I personally hate it was because it did take away a really fun period of Overwatch, I think, for everybody, and then it forced us into the mirror. F.
Yeah, I'll say F. Yeah, I'm as low.
I'm being outvoted.
Yeah, F is good.
One thing here is maybe in retrospect, some people be like, why didn't they hotfix it? The problem was, like again, like you just said, the pro players literally played on their own realm. Like no one had access to this game they were playing on, and so the developers were busy developing Overwatch 2.
No, this was beta 2, so it was already public.
Oh, okay.
This was actually public.
All right. Fair enough. But the point was, the developers were busy developing the release of the game.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have time to go hotfix and develop and update the pro experience. So it was a bit scuffed in that regard.
It was a bit rough. We did have one meta, by the way, that was still Overwatch 1, and we can just put it at F right now. Okay. That's fine.
Can I just make one last comment
It's on the
Joe's?
tier list.
I'll make it quick.
All right, say
Sure.
the Joe's comment and then Joe's.
Fast final comment on Joe's. I think the reason why they also didn't hotfix it is because it just came out to the public, and I think they didn't want the perception of like, oh, it literally just came out, and then we're just gonna instant nerf Junker Queen before the public even has had a chance to like really play her. Do you know what I mean? So like, there was that, and then there's also the case where like maybe it's Junker Queen's not that bad because we haven't had a lot of people play this yet. And it's just only the pros playing this, and you know we don't want to just like instantly. We don't want to just instantly. Yeah, but I'm saying from the dev POV, they probably thought like we'll give it a chance and let the public do it first, and not just like instantly placate to the
I think
pros.
that's a null point. I'm not gonna turn this into a conversation, but I think that's a null point. But I mean, that's like
I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying that's the line of thought.
I just don't think they would have thought that because all the metas form at pro level, etc. So anyway, there's a double shield meta on the list, by the way. We missed it. We're not out of Overwatch 1 just yet. There was the shock double shield one. Put it in F. Don't give a shit. That meta was fucking terrible. That killed the actual game for me. My love for the game killed it. Actually killed it. Double shield. Shock.
Architect Bastion.
Yes, Architect fucking Bastion bullshit.
This is the infamous like two shields, Symmetra Bastion.
Yes.
Like Gibraltar shuttle sitting on top of the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that fucking screenshot. And I believe that's also the meme screenshot as well. Lijiang Tower, double shield, double sim wall on the point on Night Market. And it was the fucking meme on Twitter at that point where everybody was like, how the fuck can you even spectate this? And no shit, like, yeah, actually, like, what the fuck? And
So
then
we
it's
went
also
from
about the
goats
Valorant
into
screenshot of the
that.
neon walls and the fucking Phoenix walls and shit too. And people
Glad
are like,
other
what
games
about
get some
fucking
bullshit
Valorant?
too.
Yeah.
I'm glad other games get it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the two screenshots people were comparing at the time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was kind of funny. But that meta was also dog. Absolute dog shit. Yeah,
There
like
you go.
that. Come on.
Dude, that's the final boss of my nightmares.
It is. It is.
Yo,
dude,
That is the 9th ring of hell in Dante's Inferno right there.
It is. It sucks. Like that was one of the seasons where I played the game less. Like I'd play a minimum of 200 games a season, like easily, and I've continued that trend after that meta left. Like it's just not fun. It's just not good. That meta, there's no redeeming qualities about that meta. I don't think. So yeah, I'd put it in washed up tier personally. Yeah, put it down there. Fuck it.
Okay, I
Overwatch
actually can't remember enough. I mean, I wasn't even talent.
All
then.
you
I
need
was
to
working in the
remember
production
is the
room.
screenshot of Night Market with 2 sim walls, 4 other shields, because it was 2 Orisas and 2 Sigma. That's all you need to
I
remember.
get the point. But like
Bad.
putting it next to Beyblade is, that's all right.
You still worked on the Overwatch League though, right, John?
Yeah, I worked in production. Yeah,
Yeah, so
2019. I got banished for a year, and I was a
Got banned
producer.
from broadcast, bro.
Yeah. But hey, I got a job thanks to Reddit. So thank you, Reddit.
let's go.
Much
Let's
love.
go.
Thanks to you guys. I'm still
We
around.
won Reddit. We won.
we won Reddit. So yeah, I mean, it was a different experience, but it also like working in a production room, like everything blended together so much. So I can't actually remember much of that that shock run. I remember Hangzhou Spark at 4th in that playoff, so people always overlook that. Credit Hangzhou Spark. Anyway, all right, moving on. Overwatch 1 metas. Which one do we have next? Is it the
What's 2
Kiriko?
metas now?
Oh,
Dallas Shield Kiriko meta.
yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we got the Kiriko.
So mixed on
Release.
this one. I'm so mixed. Best finals ever, but like, oh my god, we just played the same comp. Oh my god.
We did,
And
but
like-
it was actually a good comp. It was a good comp.
Like, but
because
then-
there was
but then-
Monkey.
But like it was also like last minute patch change, kind of Mickey Mouse Roadhog, kind of not to that level, but do you know what I mean? It's like
It
you
was
play a
pretty
whole
Mickey-
season on something,
yeah.
and then like last minute you're gonna play a brand new playoffs meta. It's just like a total patch shift. I felt like that was a little Mickey Mouse. I'm not gonna lie.
But the
I
meta
see your
was
point,
quick.
but
It was quick, and I know the Joe's meta had the Soj, had the Genji and shit like that, but like this meta was quick. It had fucking dive. They had the
it had
Soj. They had the fucking.
You're defending
one of
Reaper. You're
the
defending
best-
Reaper.
I know I'm defending Reaper, and I'm defending Reaper again, but like. There has to be an element of cringe in a lot of these metas, and like
Reaper
Reaper
defender.
in this meta was the cringe, but like the rest of the comp was fun. Like it was cool, man. The Sojourn, and it literally created the best finals of all time in Overwatch League, and just Winston being on the map. Winston's presence sometimes is just enough to make a meta good, because what you have to play with Winston is normally a lot of
Let me
fast
ask you
shit
this.
and a lot of like
Let me
cool
ask you
shit.
this.
So I think this is up there.
If Seoul Dynasty and Shock in 2020 went to 7 maps, would that have made it the best as well then? Is it because we went to 7 maps? Is it just because of that? Because that says more about the closest
I see the point
teams.
you're trying to make, but I actually do think that this meta, because it was Kiriko, Winston, Sojourn, was actually
Kiriko was
pretty
fun.
fun.
Kiriko is also a cool character.
Yeah.
Like, she might be a little bit bullshit
Now,
sometimes, you know.
I mean, this was essentially
know,
5-man
guys.
death ball with Winston. Like, they were just
think about this.
Winston bubbling aggressively and sliding into it.
Think about what this meta actually is. Like, here's why we play these specific heroes. You want to know why? It's because Kiriko Kitsune rush in, Winston gets multiple jumps and multiple bubbles, and Reaper just like shoots it mega fast. So in a way, it's pretty gimmicky. That's why we played these heroes. Like we got Winston, but we got Winston so we can drop like 2 bubbles in a single team fight because of Kitsune rush.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit
Sojourn
why
does
it's the
a lot of
reason.
work.
No one
for
cares
what's
about
ability in this
why
comp.
the reason is. It's cool, man. The
Well,
fucking
no,
thing.
I mean,
like,
I'm
it's
saying it's
fucking
gimmicky. I'm
sick.
saying it's gimmicky is what I'm saying.
AVRL has a bit of a, you know, heuristic here that like zombie comp's boring, and so this is
Zombie
kind of
comp is boring.
adjacent to a zombie comp.
This isn't a zombie comp.
It's adjacent.
Shit fucking dies.
It's better
like
than zombie.
super
It's better
quick.
than zombie. It's better than zombie. But
better
it's,
than
it's
zombie
gimmicky.
comp,
But it's
bro.
gimmicky. But it is gimmicky. It's got Reaper.
Sure, it's gimmick. Like I said, there has to be one cringe part of the comp, and that's fucking Reaper. Everybody
I
has
can
an
find
element in
cringe
them that is
part.
cringe. Everybody has an element that is
Part of the
cringe.
comp. Find
You
the
do
one
not kill
cringe.
the part of you that is cringe. You just become it. You know, that's fine. Like,
guys,
that's fine.
everyone find the cringe. I found it. It's Reaper.
It's fine. We found it in this comp. It's the Reaper, but this meta was cool overall. This had a really fucking dude. Like I don't know. This had a good effect on Overwatch. I think. Like as a
I will
whole,
not
and
rank
like
it above C.
Shut the fuck up. The resurgence. The resurgence of Overwatch, this is when we were fucking hitting it as well. And I think this really helped that the finals was a fucking, not only a sick event, but like a fucking good meta. And it wasn't just fucking boring zombie sustain or like jotes or some shit like that. It was exciting to watch. And it helped, I don't know if it helped boost the popularity of Overwatch, but I think deep down inside, I think it did a little bit. Honestly,
I think
it
a
really
lot
helped
of-
boost Overwatch's popularity a little bit. Look at the cool fucking shit. And
I think a lot of things happened around this time period to make that argument. First of all, Overwatch 2 release was in hindsight like massive, and like the viewership we got because of drops and everything. It was our first live event back because the year previous we were just in Hawaii, just us. There was, and you know, split time zones, whatever. We were back with a crowd. Is that who's that? Is that you?
Who are you pointing out? Is that Solomon?
I don't know. Oh, that's Solomon.
No way.
Right
Yo,
there.
so
Whoa, no way. But yeah, Sojourn was hype.
reveal.
But I think a lot of things came together. Epic finals, 2 fan favorite teams. So yeah, if you want to isolate the meta, it was a good meta. It was not the best meta ever, but it was definitely one of the most exciting matches of all time because of the circumstances.
Okay. Here's the real test. Forget about the finals. What about every other game on that meta in the playoffs? Like, let's talk about all the other games surrounding the
Gladiators,
finals.
Gladiators
like-
losing, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kevster can't play Reaper. That's why they lost."
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
not wrong though. Not wrong.
Shanghai
like, I mean,
Dragons bombing out with Lip.
Lip tried his best. Like, consider the fact that we didn't get any hero changes. Just like
Atlanta
in Jokes,
Rain.
just
Gator
like in
came
Jokes,
back
we
after
played,
not playing all year.
We played the same 5 heroes and never swapped. Same 5 fucking heroes, never swapped.
Because of the week before, right? That was the story of the meta leading up to it, where like Dallas Fuel discovered the Reaper, whereas before it was Sojourn Tracer, and then Dallas Fuel were like, "Oh, we're gonna play Reaper into this." Seoul Dynasty were like, they had practiced Roadhog that entire time, and so they were not at all playing this meta.
I actually got told it's Seoul's Dynasty's fault in a way because they came in with a Hog, and Dallas wanted to counter the Hog with the Reaper, and that's how the Reaper was born.
right.
That's what got Reaper in the meta. But my point is, like, regardless of how it happened, the fact is we ended up in a 5-hero meta with 0 swaps. That can't be
we
good.
did.
Like, surely
We
that
did.
can't
But
be good.
it's not about the single ability in the JQ shout. It's not about that. It's about fucking going quick.
It's
Winston
better than
jumping
Jokes.
in.
Okay, it's better than Jokes,
It's
but you
way
still
better
didn't
than
swap.
fucking Jokes. I
You
can't
still didn't
believe this
swap.
is so
You
divisive.
never swapped.
This is
You
crazy.
never swapped.
You are both on crack. Like, actually, you're smoking that.
It's because
Good
it's
shit.
because we're being biased about the finals. You have eliminate the finals and think about
crazy to
every other
me.
game. Think about the rest of the playoffs. You're
You
2
just said it,
finals
we had the
pilled.
Tracer before.
You're 2 finals pilled. Like,
No, I'm not. This meta, I can't believe this. The comments, yo, Go down in the comments right now.
Where are we
Press
putting it?
like,
Where are we putting
press
it?
subscribe,
We'll do a
give us your
poll.
opinion.
I'll do a poll in the
We're not
Twitch
gonna do a
in
poll,
the
don't forget.
YouTube chat.
I mean, I just know that the engagement with this video is going to be so unhinged because we didn't really put any parameters on like how we're ranking it. We're just like going about,
It's
just
vibes,
like, yeah,
pure
what do you guys
vibes
think?
ranking.
It
How
is
do you guys feel
like
about
Vibe
it?
ranking.
I said that at the very beginning. It's a pure, for me, pure vibes rank. If
Yeah,
I enjoyed
it's
it, if I
vibes.
enjoy casting it, if I enjoy watching it and shit like that, yeah, great. Like it's a good meta for me, right?
If
like
someone wants to
everyone
come
say this.
out and do a 6-hour podcast breaking down everything there is about it, go ahead. That's not
yeah, I'm not
us.
watching. I'm just not
I'm not
watching.
watching.
Not watching that shit. I think
Yeah.
it was a good meta. I think it was a really fun meta
Oh
to
my
watch.
god. Oh,
Look at that fucking final.
dude.
See, finals biased. I told you.
Yeah,
12 teams. Oh, dude. Remember when we had the budget to have 12 teams and the top seeds got a bye in the first round? Oh my god.
To be
Oh,
fair,
look at all
the
those
teams
matches.
paid.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The teams paid for themselves to be there, which is why
God,
I told teams.
the
But still,
spark run
Well,
back as well.
the
It
amount of
lowers.
broadcast days, the amount of matches.
Oh,
that's true. They, you know, what?
Dude.
Not wrong. Not
spark
wrong. Not
run
wrong.
back. They were so close, bro.
Oh
They
my
were
god.
so close.
Dude, these tournaments were so epic with like double elimination, just like long ass brackets. Like mid-season madness was like 6 days long.
They're sick,
I mean,
man.
it was amazing.
Dude, that's the peak. I still think 2022 may
Yeah.
be my favorite year of Valve.
Yeah, peak
because of that
format.
reason.
Peak format for sure.
Um,
I actually agree. 2020 was the best format in Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2022.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
You just said 2020.
No, 2022. Yeah, 2022 was the best format. It was an amazing year format wise. We just a lot of people that couldn't play the game,
Yeah,
and I
that
was in a
a big
truck all
problem.
year. Well, you know.
All right, so where are
Yeah,
this,
where
we're gonna have to fucking cut this somewhere, bro, because
we got 5
C
more
for
after
me.
this.
I think
And
C
these will
for
be
me.
quick.
C for me personally.
C.
I'm being nice. I'm being generous. I'm being generous. C for
that's
me.
fucked.
I would almost, I'd put
That's
it
a
B.
fucked
You want to go
opinion.
B, Jaws?
We'll cut the mustard here, bro. We'll put it B, but it's going all the way. Like,
Good B,
yeah,
then.
it's top of B for sure. And I will
Oh
cut the
my
mustard
God.
there, bro.
All right. Cut them off.
I will
This
sa-
guy sells a hard bargain. This guy's negotiating hard right now. Sheesh.
Do you actually
okay, we'll
cut
do that.
mustard?
That's just a saying.
Yeah, because mustard is like pellets, right? They're small little.
Yeah, maybe
little-
you cut
There's a lot of
pellets.
there's a lot of
Seeds,
these English
mustard
sayings that
seeds.
sometimes don't make the most
I don't
sense,
know,
but it's
bro.
just a
Try
thing that people
Coleman's?
say.
You tried Coleman's when you were over there, Johnny? Were you
Try
in London,
what?
like Coleman's?
Is that a brand?
Yeah, Coleman's yellow mustard. Solomon is what it is.
Oh, I might actually.
Coleman's.
I'm tonight
it's
actually. I'm
hot
planning
English
to grill
mustard.
sausages. I might have some
Hot
mustard with
English
that.
mustard. Oh, okay. We'll just look up. To cut the mustard to reach a. Okay, I can't really read. Cut the mustard appears to be an American original. Wait, really?
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow, a Texas newspaper. Wow.
Used to cut
Damn,
the
what?
mustard in his. I can't read.
That's fucked up. Why would you do that? Why would you cut mustard?
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Anyway.
it doesn't have to make
It's an
sense.
American saying.
There we go.
There you go.
Texas.
Anyway, Coleman's yellow English mustard. Holy, goes
Bro,
crazy.
Joel's doing free promotion for Coleman's. Let's go.
They ain't sponsoring our podcast, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. They
more
ain't.
of a-
They ain't getting into esports. Ain't
I'm
no
more of a
way.
Dijon mustard kind
Dijon. No.
of. Dijon. Is that? Yeah,
Give
it's
me some-
French, right?
Yeah, Dijon. Yeah.
Dijon. All right.
I'm probably
Moving
saying
on.
it wrong in French too, but.
I kind of added it in this
The
because
fuck
it's-
meta is this, by the way?
Sorry.
What the fuck is this?
Is it?
The shy
Sorry.
pocket meta.
This
Yeah,
is kind of fraudulent too. But this is. Do I have the
Very
VOD? Yeah, I put the VOD in there, Salmon. Pull
Didn't
it
this
up.
last
Pocket
multiple
Sojourn.
years?
Pocket Sojourn. Fleta
Just
deadlift.
pocket shy. I mean, the Shy's performance, man. Like,
I wish.
some of the dirtiest
lost. I
fucking
lost.
Sojourn play of all time. Like, he's just a freak. he is probably still one of the best Sojourns of all time to touch the game. Like,
I
straight
think I think his peak was the highest peak of Sojourn I've ever seen.
up. Ever, yeah, I 100% with that. Yeah.
He had like
100%.
65, 70% final blows in these games.
And
But
the
he
rail
did get the
accuracy
pocket,
crits as
but-
well was fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was cheating. Like, if someone was like, yeah, that guy's cheating right now, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But, like, he's just unbelievable. This isn't really a meta, by the way.
No, it's not a matter.
Like,
no.
it's not.
Okay,
We're
no,
just
it-
talking
it
about
kind of
Shy.
is. It kind of it kind of is a minute because lots of teams did play this. Like, I mean, teams
Yeah.
mirrored them a lot. Like this
So the
was,
comp is Winston, Sojourn, Tracer, Brig, Ana.
and this lasted like, okay, it's weird to call it a meta because it never went away. This got played over 2 years. I think both, like this even got played in World Cup. Like Overwatch World Cup Hangzhou still played this shit,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
Yeah,
even considered
yeah,
meta anymore.
right.
Do you know what I mean? So like they played it for like 2 years straight. They had an insane Overwatch League playoffs run with it last year on this exact comp. Other teams mirrored them too, but it was never meta in the sense that everyone played at the same time. It was just Hangzhou forcing this every
It
single
deserves
time.
to be high. Is all I'm saying on this list. Like,
but I
like
like
I
it.
said,
I like it a lot.
vibes-based predictions, or not predictions. Sorry,
We've seen one
vibes-based
final blow, by
rankings.
the way.
Vibes is
this
S.
high.
Vibes for me is like S on this, legitimately, because why? All 5 mechanical high skill ceiling heroes. You got Winston, you got some of the best primary. You got Brig Ana, I think is super high skill. Any meta with Ana, I think generally outside of like quad tank, like modern Ana, not the dumb Beyblade Ana, is like, super fun. That wasn't even directed at Johnny or anything. I'm just saying like. I'm Sojourn pilled. I'm massively Sojourn pilled. Love that hero. Love Tracer. Like every single hero in this comp, I'm absolutely in
Cool
love
as
with.
fuck.
In terms of maybe not as much Brig, but even Brig here, like high mechanicals required to play.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, like Avril said before, I'll say it again. This is the highest peak of a Sojourn player ever. This was it. This was Sojourn play right here, and this map specifically too was just freakish. This goes high on the list. A or S, I'm down. Like it was not really a meta. This is not a meta. But
Sorry.
just put it S.
What an S,
on
mate.
cool
Unless,
as
unless
fuck.
Johnny doesn't.
There we
It's cool as
go.
fuck.
There we go. This
Plat
is
Chat
my
guarantee
dub.
S. Love it.
I forgot about Beyblade. This is my win now. I love it. Yeah. And look, you can make the argument. Whatever. He got pocketed. I don't care. It was
Who
really
gives a
fun
shit?
to watch.
So did
It was
fucking Jjonak,
great
bro.
vibes. It was S tier vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It was a lot of fun. And then I was so devastated when they lost that match to Fusion because I think it was who was
Sleep
the
Dart.
main support for Fusion at the time?
Fix the sleep dart.
Yeah, they fixed a sleep dart on Yukon Street. Accidentally slept Shy sliding in.
Yeah, that was nasty. Who casted that game? Was that you, Avril?
That was one of the best matches.
I can't remember if I cast or not. I don't think I did. I don't remember. Genuinely don't remember.
All right. We got a few more metas to bang out. Let's go ahead and get it done. We're not doing a 4-hour podcast. All right, 2023. Atlanta Rain. Sombra Dive.
Anything with dive in it is good. Anything with diving is good.
I
Sombra
like this,
Tracer.
but I've mixed feelings because
I
this
do
version
too.
of Sombra,
is the
I
old
just didn't
TP one.
like. I did not
Yeah.
like this version of Sombra. So
They were just so dominant too. They were just unbelievable at this comp. Like this is when everybody was like, yeah, obviously Lip's the best player in the world, but like his Sombra was just outclassing everybody.
I mean,
Like his EMP charge rate was just double of any other Sombra in the server. Like it was ridiculous how much charge rate he was getting. Like, that was the narrative the whole time.
I
liked
this is only one hero different to the Spark comp that we just saw. It literally just replaced the Sojourn with a Sombra. But replacing that changes the entire way. It turns the game into like, okay, your permanent invis Sombra is scouting out a target. You're pinging through walls because your pings in Overwatch 2 you can just fucking see Sombra. And then everyone, you just like 3 or 4 heroes just dive on a single hero, and just one hero like Ana probably just explodes.
Nuke
Right.
him, yeah.
So, I mean, the one thing I agree with in the Sombra discussion is I think Virus Sombra is healthier than this. This is probably the least healthy version of Sombra I've seen. That this is, to me, less healthy than the Overwatch 1 Sombra. Any of the Overwatch 1 Sombra versions. This had all the worst parts of Sombra rolled up in a single hero. And to me, everything else is good.
works.
Everything else is
stupid.
good, but the Sombra ruins it for me in this. Genuinely.
Did he hit the rally there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's why Sombra got changed, because that version of Sombra is very cringe, and there's no one else to spy check because there's no other tank. So
Oh, Jules found
Yeah.
the cringe. Spot the
yeah,
cringe.
there's cringe in the
Challenge
comp.
completed.
There's, like I said, in every single comp, there's one. There's at least every good comp. There's always one slight bit of cringe somewhere. Like I think this meta was good though. Again, really fast. Winston, I think, makes a great meta. If other teams are a little bit closer to Atlanta Reign, maybe it would be even better because there would be closer games. But Atlanta Reign was just so fucking good at this comp. It was just like their meta, their comp. Like no one
Nice.
else stood.
How long was this meta?
chance, you know?
Be real, how long was this meta?
Wait, how?
Two
Yeah, how
stages,
long
right?
was it? Was it 2 or 1?
It was
Smith went for
up
ages, in my
until the
opinion.
Mid-Season Madness, right?
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, I can't really remember.
What did we play after Mid-Season Madness? Did we play this again or did we play something else?
Oh, he's in-skilled.
Oh my god. Right after the Mid-Season Madness was when Valiant beat Gladiators.
Oh,
What did
yeah.
they play?
Ooh.
They played Sojourn and stuff, right? Seeker
Sojourn,
Sojourn.
I think, yeah, Seeker
Summer
Sojourn. and then-
Stage. Summer
They had
stage.
Lucio, obviously.
And Liar had this Li Jiang moment.
Yeah, the Li Jiang.
I can't remember.
Li Jiang Lion moment.
I think
I casted that one.
I agree. Like, I never really liked Sombra in that version, but I think it is worth mentioning how incredibly high skill that meta was at the pro level. Like, Atlanta Reign were dominant for a reason because they were really good at that comp. And the fact that Houston Outlaws came so close to beating them, that proved to like how close they were to perfection. Not to bring up the meme, but like the small details that decided the difference in that meta was like insane. It goes up there as one of the hardest metas I think in Overwatch history because of how small the details were between being the best and being
the
second best.
backline of Reign as well. Like you could survive they could survive the 3-2-1.
Dude, those two rosters, insane.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, they looking back at it as well. They were two cracked rosters too. I think this meta deserves at least a B. I think it's up there. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd put it in B.
Fun
Yeah.
ass.
Over Hog, Zarya,
Go
even
quick.
double shield. Yeah, put it
Tracer
B.
triple blink.
Yeah.
Shoot people.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's cool.
Sure. Yeah,
I think it's really cool.
I'll accept that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Can we do? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
What do you have to say?
Also, what the fuck? London Rhine Sebastian.
Okay,
Dude, these
Jake
aren't
requested
metas.
this. Jake requested this.
These aren't metas. This is one
Yeah, blame
team.
Jake. Let's
Okay,
blame
well-
Jake for that.
Well, Jake said something like this isn't a meta, but London Rhine Sim. They kind of revolutionized the way you played Rhine
Yeah.
Sim.
Okay. Sure.
They
I mean,
revolutionized the way you play around the map.
it's the same kind of like shy pocket thing. I think the comp is really cool, and I really like London playing because no one else played that shit, and they were just sick at it.
Well, Jack, it's different to the Hangzhou shy thing because other teams also play that mirrored.
Oh
them,
yeah,
and it
sure.
was-
Okay, they played
you
the
know what I mean?
Sojourn shit.
Whereas
Like this comp is
London
just
were the only team that played this.
completely different, not washed up. No, I would say this is like an A, not a true meta though, but like it's fun as fuck to watch because no one else was doing it like them.
No, I think we're biased. No.
What?
I'm gonna no. I think it was fun because they didn't play mirror. It was
Correct.
fun because they were the
Correct.
odd man out playing Ryan Sebastian against
and that makes
non-teams.
it
If this was
fun.
a mirror matchup, unlike
not.
Hangzhou Spark, oh my god, mirror matchup, Winston, Sojourn, and Tracer, I'd watch that. Would I watch two teams cycling Bastion wheels mode? No.
But you're
Keep it on
not.
the
We're
map?
not.
No,
we didn't watch
that's
that.
C. That's C
But-
to me.
No,
Sorry.
but
we
you have
didn't
to,
watch
you have
that.
to but you have to
We
talk
are
about it in
isolating this comp, the London comp in the
No, you
in
got to
the
talk about
meta.
within a meta. You got to talk about within the actual like
Oh my god.
Yeah.
the context of meta.
What the
and in
fuck?
the context
You-
in the context of a meta, you would have probably played this in a mirror if it was actually meta. The problem is this
Yeah, it
shouldn't
would
be
have
on the
been
list.
terrible.
It shouldn't be on the list.
No, it shouldn't be on
because
the
it's
list. I
actually
blame
not a meta.
Jake.
Just,
I
yeah,
blame
just
Jake.
take it out.
Take
Actually,
it
just
out.
fucking
All right,
take
we
that
gave
shit
it
out.
its moments, but we're not ranking it.
All right. Okay.
Like under Jack's specific
We'll do Malga
context,
one.
it might actually be A, but what Johnny said is so true. If it actually was meta, it'd be really bad.
Yeah.
So-
All right. Let's go current Orisa Sojourn.
you saving
I
the
don't-
spot? Okay. He's-
Oh well, I don't know. I just did it the
All
order
right,
that wasn't
okay,
tier
let's do
maker
current
until it
Orisa
wasn't.
Sojourn, even
Yeah.
though it's not current because that's not what's happening right now.
It's still
Uh,
happening. What do
Playing
you mean?
this.
It's still happening.
People are not.
There's a
scrimming
lot of
this.
stuff going on in scrims.
Yeah, people are
Um,
not screaming this shit.
Well, I think the meta is varying up. Like it's
Yeah,
changing a bit.
I saw scrims earlier today. They
It's
played
very open. Yeah, but
Okay,
like.
well let's not do metas based on scrims. Let's do what we've seen in
Sure.
officials so
Okay.
far.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
better
We'll do like.
discussion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fucking last couple of weeks. Yeah.
So
I think. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty.
I think despite we found the cringe at Orisa, but still
There's the cringe.
We found the cringe.
despite the Orisa, I think like the rest of the cast around it, like this is a pretty fast meta. People actually die. Orisa doesn't feel invincible in this meta, despite the Suzu. So I'm actually kind of okay with this meta. Maybe I'm just like this is another situation where we'll talk about Malga soon, but maybe because at least it's not Malga is in the back of my mind that I'm like Stockholm syndrome into this comp.
Also, not really a meta. Because like EU, they played Ramatra and
Yeah, but the Malga was just better.
It's not a
Oh,
hard. It's
God.
not a hard meta, but it is soft.
No.
I would say it's soft meta in the sense that you do see a lot of
pretty
mirrors in
soft.
this, and
Yeah.
teams globally, like Korea plays this, by the way.
Yeah,
in what
fair enough.
world do you have Korea, NA, and EU all agreeing on the same comp?
Fair
Like,
enough.
that to me,
Literally never. I mean, I think the only problem with this comp is that there's no variation, right? Orisa's kind of cringe, but in general, I think this comp's quite fun. Sombra. Tracer, Sojourn, Kiri, Lucio. I think it's a good, and it's new Orisa, obviously, right? We haven't mentioned that. It's new. It's not Shield Orisa. It's not Pull Orisa. Like we were saying before in the other metas. Like,
Dude, I've had it with new Orisa. I'm over it.
Okay.
I'm over it.
Tank players spoken, and no one asked.
Just
No one cares about tank players, Johnny. Sorry.
Fortify, javelin spin. I don't care. Like it's
that
it's
shit
lame.
is very annoying. I will give you that. I will say, Orisa was more of a problem before when the DPS passive wasn't the healing reduction. When it was like speed up or reload speed and shit like that. Like as soon as the like healing reduction came in, Orisa was way more tolerable because she could.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that.
She could actually just get blown up. Like she has a lot of survivability, and that's like her like core identity as a character is that she can survive, but it's easier to kill her now because of the DPS passive. So she's not as bad as she was like a few months ago.
All right, you want to remove
Sure.
Fortify and replace it with a horse gallop.
You see, I wouldn't actually be opposed
What's
to
a horse
that.
gallop? What is that? What's a horse
So
gallop?
she can
You just
sprint
sprint
forwards or
forward.
whatever.
You get movement speed for like some time or something. You just gallop. You gallop. That's a horse.
I don't
get-
mind that.
Actually,
Actually,
even a take from me, maybe even harder take. You get fortified during the gallop only, but it's short.
Yo, you can
The
gallop
is-
and you can stampede over people. Can run
So I
over
think-
people.
Because the problem
Wait,
is when you
far.
gallop, you're probably just gonna die. Like you're probably just taking way too much damage during the gallop. So I
You
think
can
gallop
spear
with the fortify.
spin during the gallop.
oh, we just said it. Okay, this.
and give all tanks CC reduction. More.
Okay.
At
We're
what
not-
point are we? At what point are we discussing
It's better
people
than
riding the
fortify.
horse?
Yeah, everything's
someone-
better than fortified. To be
Can
fair,
someone ride the
Fortified's
horse during the gallop or
boring.
no?
No,
No.
I don't know. I think we have the technology
If
for
she
that.
got
yet.
a little dash or some shit, like an actual like gallop forward, she'd have two. Then that'd actually be very stupid. Thinking about it, gallop into spear spin would be very dumb. But I mean-
both Yeetle and Spilo, they want the javelin spin to provide verticality, so you can like spin upwards and become a helicopter.
Helicopter.
oh my
Oh
god,
my-
okay, the meme.
Yeah,
Anything's
they're
better
not
than
serious,
fortify.
right? They're saying that as a meme, right? Surely.
Going back to the
No, I
meta,
think it's
like
serious.
the Orisa Sojourn ship, I think that's a good meta. I'm not hating this at all. This is like a B for me. I wouldn't say it's like, and I think the upper echelons really have to be like, you have to play dive, you know? Like that's the cutoff. A good meta that's not dive is probably just B. Because I think most metas in Overwatch are really good when it's dive. And I think a lot of people prefer when it is dive. Orisa
You
is
know
not
why?
dive,
Because
so-
dive is high skill ceiling mechanical heroes. is
Yes,
why.
exactly. Exactly. And it's fun and it's cool to watch. Orisa, not that cool. I think it's a B personally. I don't think it's too egregious. Like it is not fucking GOATs tier.
All right.
No.
Yeah, I'll go B. I'll go B.
I would have leaned C, but I think okay, you guys have voted B, so I think low B. How about just like
Yeah,
a very low
C
B?
to me looks scary. I
Like a
don't
low
like the C
B.
category.
Put it at the bottom of B. I'm happy with bottom of B.
Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go.
All right, here we go. Mauga meta.
Worst meta of all time in Overwatch 2. So bad.
Christopher was not pleased with the Mauga assessment on uncoachable.
What was the assessment?
So he had Jake on, and basically the conversation was that like he basically said that I don't want to paraphrase him wrong, but I'll just try and like do a summary, which is to say that Malga was probably overhated, wasn't given
With the
much
new
of a
iteration,
chance.
with the new changes.
yeah,
With the overhealth change. Yeah.
Wasn't given a chance to like for people to maybe play it more. I think people just automatically hate it because of a narrative. I think there's a little bit of truth to that, but I also think like it is also not very fun just to press cardiac overdrive and then like, you know.
Again, I don't
Spin
want to
both
paraphrase
miniguns.
either, but I think he was also trying to make the point, and again, I hope I don't get this wrong, but that maybe there was an answer, but because there wasn't enough time, people didn't figure out the counter
Which
to
is
it.
pretty fair.
He was
fair
also
point.
saying that like it wasn't as brain dead as people make it out to be. Like it still requires you to have like really good team play. He actually said his take. This I don't know if I agree with this, but his take was Malga requires more mechanical skill than Ram or Orisa. Now I do agree it's more mechanical skill than Ram. I don't know about Orisa, but up for debate. But basically he said like there's no way you don't have an issue with the Orisa mirror, but you do have an issue with the Malga mirror, is what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I have an issue with the Orisa mirror for sure. Like that again. That's why I don't think their comp previous that we talked about, the current like Orisa Soj. That's why that comp is not like an A or whatever. This is just zombie comp. And I would agree with Christopher too, like, especially when it comes to metas that are so like nuanced and like micro heavy. Like for pro play, it's pretty nasty. The problem is when you just watch the meta, it's kind of shit. And it is just about sustain, and like the micro things don't really get touched on. And it's kind of like the GOATs problem too, where like I like the micro elements of GOATs and I thought it was really sick. But the problem was a lot of that time, either translating that on broadcast as a commentator is difficult, or you don't have time, or it's just like, you know, kind of you're just waiting for kind of big events, the big explosions and shit like that. I don't like this meta because Reaper, Mauga, and Moira, and I tweeted that actually. I think I tweeted this out. Like when those heroes are meta, that's when the alarm bells should start ringing, and the meta is kind of shitty, and the game.
What you're saying is you can spot the cringe very easily here. Extremely easy. You can spot the cringe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't need a pair of glasses, you know, to spot the cringe. But you know, when it's one character, you're like, okay, now I need to put on the spectacles, right? And then you need to actually identify the cringe, and it might take you a little while. Here, it's very obvious, and it being sustained, not cool. Cardiac overdrive, again, I think is one of those abilities where it's healthy for the game in one regard, or in a few regards, not just one, but it's healthy for the game in that it's a very simple ability to kind of execute, doesn't require a lot of like mechanical skill, and it's good for players that are maybe new to FPS or like fucking hero shooters or whatever. But the thing is, when it's too fucking strong, it's like Queen Shout, and it's just like, this shit's boring because it just hits a thing, and you're like, woohoo! Like, oh, I get everything, you know? It's not like a fucking spear you throw. It's not like a cool ability that you can hit. That's like I have to judge where they're going or whatever. It's not great.
So as a tank player, I've actually kind of like my opinion has evolved on Mauga over time, and I actually think that Mauga has a good place in the tank role as is, where like I found that I want to swap to Mauga, and I found that it's useful. Most of the time, whenever I'm playing against like a Pharah or an Echo or something like that, or like a Tracer, and I'm just like, at least Mauga gives me the option to put an Echo or a Pharah on fire, and give me some option in that. I think Yeetle released a video earlier today when we were recording that he was like, we should incentivize a Mauga to actually shoot individual people rather than just incentivize them to shoot tanks, which makes a lot of sense.
Right, I agree with that.
That's a pretty good take.
And it's something we talked about on the podcast before. I think we spent the most time talking about Mauga this podcast more than anything. But so yeah, incentivizing to shoot individual people over just holding the machine guns on a tank. I like that too. I actually think one of the things we don't talk about enough as it comes to like holistically, not just like the Mauga versus Mauga, is that I actually think that cage fight is a really bad ultimate for the game. Agreed. I think the fact you just put up a large circle of shields, it's like so bad.
Okay, let me mold real quick.
Okay. Well, I'll say this is like, if they remove the shield and found a different way to still like lock people in place, but some kind of different thing other than a giant fucking shield in the battlefield, I could be open to that.
That shit fucking blows. I was playing DPS the other day. I was playing on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Of course I was locking the Widow. Of course I was hitting headshots. I was kind of doming the enemy Widow. I was kind of rolling them. But the fucking last point, we get to the last point, they're pushing up or whatever. I can't remember if we were going to lose the game or like maybe it was going to go to extra rounds. I can't really remember. But the Mauga, all the fucking Mauga did was put his fucking thing on the point, and they're like just about to cap third. And the Widow on the enemy team is standing on the fucking ledge, and I can't shoot her. I grapple out left side. I jump, I hit a headshot. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Because there's a fucking shield in front of me. That's the tallest. It's as big as like Big Ben, bro. Like, you can't shoot past that. Yeah, I agree. It's fucked. Like, it just spawning a giant dome. In concept, it's cool, right? Because it's like actually a cage fight, and no one can join in unless you jump into the cage fight. But like for the people outside of it, holy shit, is it bad. I just got pissed because the Widow killed me. I took the first shot, I would have hit the headshot, she would have died, but because there was a shield in the way, she had half a second more than for me, and she fucking killed me. I agree with that point, actually. I think it's
I will say that the defenders of Mauga, which might just be Chris, but the defenders of Mauga also have to admit that Mauga's in an okay place, because Twisted Minds proved that you can still play Mauga in this current meta, in this current landscape of the patch. Mauga's not like fully dead, and I think Mauga's in a good place where like you know, it's a niche pick that is like semi-viable in certain matchups, but is not going to like completely take over a meta, right? I think that's where you want this hero to be.
That is exactly what you want, because if he's meta, it forces the mirror. Like, he's so like overbearing because of like cardiac overdrive and stuff. I truly believe if the Mauga is the meta, then oh shit, you have to play Mauga, you have to play mirror, and that's just about it. But if he's a more of a niche pick, then yeah, I think that's a good place for the character to be. And I don't know, this Mauga meta thing, I was very done with it very quickly. I don't know what you guys think, but this is like a fucking.
I was done day one. I was done day one, so
yeah, it's not good.
Maybe I knee jerked too hard. In like to Chris's defense,
Washed
I
up or
probably knee
F?
jerked it too hard.
All right, so let's assess it at least with its current skill set, kind of right. So I'd rather put it in F than washed up tier list.
Yeah, F.
I think I agree with that. I think F is better than washed
Not
up.
not in washed up tier. Yeah.
All right.
Better than
I would
Jokes.
actually controversially.
Yes. No.
I think Jokes is better actually.
Jokes is better. Sojourn. And Genji.
I honestly, I mean, it's weird because like I'm glad we didn't broadcast any esport matches during the actual Mauga meta. Or well,
Oh, yes, we
am I
did.
misremembering?
We did.
What?
Korea played it.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I meant like the original Mauga in like December, November.
Oh yeah,
Because Flash
yeah,
Ups didn't have it,
OG.
right? So, the OG, yeah, because that was real bad. Ranked was a terrible place back then. All right, but there you have it. This is our scuffed version of a meta tier list. Plat Chat certified, maybe. I don't know.
Guarantee?
I hope so. Guaranteed.
Run Plat Chat guarantee.
I think so. I don't know if you have the button. I don't know if you have the capability, but Solomon doesn't have it, I think. All right.
I'm holding my thumbs up. Take a screenshot. Don't worry.
Hey, don't worry about it, bro. He's.
Oh, here it comes. No, there.
Oh, that's good. That's good. No, that's good. That's perfect.
That's good. That's perfect.
There's no Jake,
All right.
unfortunately. Got a Photoshop Jake in there.
Yeah. All right. I hope you guys had fun with that segment. I certainly did, and it was fun looking back at some of the older metas. So, and it went about 2 hours, 20 minutes. All right, it could have been shorter, could have been long. It is what it is. That was pretty good. It was pretty fun, guys. Before we wrap up the episode, there's just a couple of things I want to hit on. I don't think we need to spend too much time on any of this, but just a few news pieces. Wait, I don't think we'll touch on OWCS because honestly I don't think we need to. Obviously,
Tomorrow.
you saw what teams qualified for it, and I looked at the group stage matches, and unfortunately, there's not a ton of fun group stage matches because.
Oh, hang on, there is one. SSG versus Schmungus.
Sure.
Now it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be
All
this
right.
is gonna be a very fast game.
Okay, it'll be fun. It won't be even.
You're correct. It will not be even, but it will be fun. But it will not be even.
Yeah, there you go, Schmungus. But yeah, I was about to say, like, I actually wrote this somewhere that like the group stage format doesn't really incentivize great Overwatch because all the top seeds are in different groups, and so you just get pretty one-sided matches in all this, which is not fun. And so I don't know. I think that's a pretty.
Oh, you
big
can't
flaw.
put the top seeds together, so this is
You
how
can't
it's
put them together, otherwise that'll be fucked
Um,
because they're the best
Swiss.
teams. And then
Swiss system.
Sure. No, GSO group
Ooh.
bracket.
Yeah, I know that's a big topic of contention, but I'm a Swiss lover. So
After
Swiss head.
this many
Swiss head.
years of fucking discussing formats, I am officially retiring from that conversation.
yeah, I don't want to do any big conversations anymore. Did that one already on metas. We can save big topics for another day. But here we go. Yeah, the groups. And I look. I mean, I don't think we need to talk about this. We know who will advance for the most part. It'll be Space Station, Explosione, ENS, Team Peps probably, or Sheer Cold, or we're a one-man army. Twisted Minds will advance. So we'll kind of see who
Group
comes
D is the
through
most
it. But
interesting.
what?
Group D is the interesting.
Dude, I saw the
Group D is
crazy. I
interesting.
can't remember who put the tweet out. Someone's like, dude, I think it might have been Albert. Like, Group D is a team
Oh,
of
red name
full
teams.
Red names. I think it's not
Yes,
that anymore.
red
I think like okay, no, that was NA. NA group.
Oh, it was
one of the
NA.
NA groups is a full red name team.
Yes.
Red
That
name
shit's
group.
so funny, actually.
I mean, Group C
They're
nearly
cooking
was like
actually
Group
with
C.
that one.
Group C was nearly a full red name group. Not
Yeah. You had all in there, and I realized that I didn't put in the document when we
So
prepared for the show.
students just got
They just got a page.
They just got a page.
Okay.
But,
Nice.
but before they got a page, there was like, yeah, there's a full red
Yeah.
name team, red name groups.
Yeah. There were some. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, it's the Albert tweet.
Students of the game deserve a page, man.
But I didn't put in the document. They obviously release a developer blog, and they outlined some changes they got in store for for Wrecking Ball and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess we'll hit on that next week because we'll get patch notes next week. So we'll break it down, everything next week. I do want to hit on the Season 10 roadmap real quick because they released the trailer and the roadmap, so we can just talk about that real quick. And there's some cool stuff in here. You got Venture coming out. You got the Mercy Mythic and the Mythic Store coming out. So we'll talk more about the Mythic skins. We get to trial the new game mode, the Dallas Major. Whoa! And then also Mirror Watch. So they're changing up. They're changing up like the alliances within Overwatch. So what is it, Talon and I don't know what I guess it's Overwatch.
The good guys.
They just swapped the
Talon and the good guys. They're mixing them up.
The skins are actually really cool, by the way. I don't know if anybody's seen.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new Ana skin. It's pretty cool. She's got like a commander hat on. It's pretty wicked.
Are we going to talk about the Dallas Fuel skin? Is that not the Dallas Fuel skin?
Oh.
Question mark?
Oh my god, I didn't even realize. Wait a minute, is that Hanzo?
What do you mean different?
The joke,
Yeah, it's Hanzo, yeah.
the joke
It's
is that
Hanzo.
it looks like a Dallas Fuel skin.
It does. It does look like a Dallas Fuel skin. It's very
That
bold.
is
looks-
pretty funny.
It looks
And then
more like
the
the Dallas Fuel
Porsche
Championship
collab.
skin than the actual Dallas Fuel Championship skin.
That is pretty funny. Okay, that is pretty funny.
Ouch.
Because that was a Reaper, right? It was like a blue Reaper or something?
Yep.
It was Unchained Reaper anyway.
Oh.
Unchained, yeah. That's it.
Very
Yeah.
silly skin.
And then we got a Porsche collab, which is kind of sick.
Hey,
Another
Oh.
Diva skin.
I heard
another Diva
J3 got a
collab.
free Porsche from the team, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so did I.
That's awesome.
No, I wish
Everybody
I
got
got
free
free Porsche. Yeah. And then just a few quick things here as well. They're bringing changes to avoid a teammate, wide group, and leaver penalty. Some system changes, all good. So instead of 3 avoids, you now get 10 avoids. But they're not like strict avoids.
No,
there's 3
I think-
strict avoids, and then
Can I
there's
make a comment on this?
Yeah,
Because
go for
I had
it.
a discussion with someone in my stream like a while ago, and then my fucking Discord roasted my ass. But the wording in here is really interesting, and the wording that Gavin was saying in the trailer as well was quite revealing on how the system actually works. Like your pinned avoids, you're 99.9% of the time, especially in metal ranks, and this is a big thing for like metal ranks specifically. You're going to be avoiding those players. The higher you go up, like in the ranks and the lower the player population, the bottom less likely or least likely to be avoided, they're going to start to matter less and less. And he did actually mention especially near the top ranks, if the matchmaker is taking too long to kind of figure out a game, it's going to start not removing, but it's going to start ignoring some of the slots at the bottom. So this is a big change for the majority of the player base. Which is really cool because I know people have been wanting this for so fucking long. But for top ranks, it won't. Especially the least likely to be avoided ones might not matter as much, but it's still a fucking sick change.
I need to clear up one misconception. I don't think you said this, but I think the community is confused about what pins actually mean. I had some people in my chat be like, "Oh, the pins are guaranteed avoids." I know, but some people are like, the pins are guaranteed avoids, and you get 3 of them. It's like, no, that's just a graphic. I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure you can have as many pins as you want from 0 to 10. And the pins is just for making sure that your avoided plays never get removed from the avoided list.
perma avoided.
So
yeah.
that it's so because what the system is now is when you avoid a new person and you've already got 10, it replaces the oldest person on your list. So if you don't want a person to be replaced, then you pin them. That's how they remain on the list, but it doesn't guarantee anything. The only thing that guarantees a player to be avoided is a priority list. If they're number 1, they're probably going to be avoided. The other take I had on this is that as long as a GM or a champion player or a high ranked player still has a minimum of 3 guaranteed avoids, it's probably fine. But if you get less than 3 guaranteed avoids, then this system is probably a downgrade compared to the last one because you still want some guaranteed avoids. Okay. From 4 till 10, the bottom 7, whatever. Maybe those don't always work, but as long as the top 3 work for high ranks, then I think it should be fine.
They definitely will. It probably worked like the old system where you're pretty much going to fucking avoid them. If you're a champion player, maybe you get your 3rd slot, but it has to eliminate all the other ones before that happens. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think this is a really good update, and the way they've done it, the way they executed it, I think is really sick. It's really cool, and I can avoid 10 massive players. So,
yeah, I was about to say that. There we go. Some leaver penalty updates. Where now you get a competitive season ban if you leave 10 games throughout the season, and I think also if you leave 5 games within your most recently played games as well.
Yeah.
So There you go. Which sucks for a guy I'm duoing with sometimes, whose game just crashes never mind. I'm not saying that word.
Inexplicably.
There you go. Thank you. So like, sucks for you because your game crashes, but maybe fix that. Sorry, bud.
10
So, yeah,
games
that's
throughout
pretty
the season,
interesting.
I will say, is quite low for a season, especially for the ranked grinders out there. That would be my only concern with that, is that if you're a grinder and you play a lot of games during the season, 10 is maybe a little bit too low, but I mean, it's yet to be seen. There are definitely going to be people that
But how are you
gonna
leaving
complain,
10
but
throughout the season? Like, how are you?
It is generally
DCs,
disconnections. Yeah,
disconnections, game crashes, and shit like that. But like, yeah, normally disconnections because like with,
You can
with,
reconnect,
with
yeah.
your game crashing, you can like get back in. But with a DC, like your internet going out, then yeah. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue. What the fuck? Dude,
What is
why?
this?
I know, look, dude. Just put me as your wallpaper already, bro. Just put me as your wallpaper already.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a good photo.
Solomon brought up in a Avast tweet that says, I can't escape him with Jaw's face on it.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Wait, how many notifications are that? 15,000? Jesus Christ.
That's his emails for sure,
Oh
bro.
my god. I can't, how do people live like
Yeah,
this?
the response is you can't escape your emails, Connor. That's the
I have
actual
a.
response.
I
All
said
the
at my
friends.
stream the other day, but I've got a folder of fucking Connor's face.
You guys are in
Why?
love. Nothing wrong with
You
that.
guys
of
are
course.
in
He's
Anyway.
dude. He's about to move here, bro. He's fucking
Yeah, you
shit.
say that once a week. We got wide
Oh,
groups
yeah.
to talk about. We got wide groups as well. I honestly don't know how this works right now, but so
I can explain it.
They're expanding it more.
If you want me to.
They're
I
wide.
don't
Yeah,
want to
go
interrupt
for it,
you.
that rule. You're cooking. I'm loving it, that rule.
Basically, there's two separate queues. You can think about it like two separate queues. You're still queuing the same way, but you queue differently depending on whether your group is wide or narrow. So a wide group, as it says in the graphic, is for middle rank players, divisions more than 5 apart. So, you know, you have to be queuing like quite far apart to be considered a wide group. Typically, there shouldn't be that many people in the wide group. Most people should be within narrow because you're probably queuing within the
So
skill
2
tiers
platinum
to-
players are narrow. 2 diamond
Yeah, so
players narrow.
So
yeah.
and all like high rank players are wide, and I think basically what the system is trying to do is allow you to play with friends who are like very separate to you in rank, but it's not going to ruin the ranked game. Where you go into a wide queue, everybody else in that queue is also in a wide queue, as in they fit the criteria for wide, and they're going to try and balance the game. Where like if you're a bronze player if you're a bronze tank with like a platinum DPS, they're going to try and find another game that also has a bronze tank and a platinum DPS on the other team as well to try and balance it out. So in either way, you're going to get into a situation with only wide versus wide and only narrow versus narrow. And I think solo players are always narrow. So solo queue players are never going to end up in a situation where they just have like this crazy game with like super far wide ranks in it. But the wider your grouping is, the less SR change you will have. So the point is, if you are like a bronze and champion queuing together, your SR is not going to change. Regardless of whether you win or lose, you will have 0 SR change, essentially.
That was really cool. I really like this.
Yep.
Just more ability to play against each other.
Get
some
ready
of
to
the
queue with my
players
ass,
will
Jaws.
Need to stop complaining. Oh yeah, we can queue together.
I can queue with
yeah.
Custa now as well. He can carry me.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Only
Custa's
criticism is
carrying
like
me.
it doesn't.
Money M2.
You can queue super wide, but the fact that you get no reward from it means that it's also kind of pointless because you
It's for
queue,
fun, yeah.
and then so it's literally just for fun. So it's kind of like just quick play with comp rules. Then do you know what I mean? You're just playing quick play with comp rules at that stage because you're getting no result. I'm glad the system is here, but it does mean like, you know, you're not getting anything out of it except for fun. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
just more. I think more options for people, regardless if you think they're fun or not, is a good thing. So
They don't
I
want
think
people to
wide groups are
smurf.
good.
Like, you wouldn't want to get
Yeah.
SR because
They
then the bronze players getting
specifically said
super
that.
super boosted. You don't want people to boost, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll get giga boosted by just queuing with someone way higher.
They
than you.
specifically said that in the. I think Gavin was saying it was like this should help counteract smurfing a little bit because we know a lot of people were using smurf accounts to play with their friends, but now you can play on your main, and then you're not going to lose much if you're a GM player, GM5, for example, and you're playing with a gold player. Like you're not going to lose much, they're not going to gain much. So yeah, it's a good thing. You know, the thing is, the whole boosting thing is it's kind of a meme in a way because like you're never gonna be able to combat the boosting or smurfing. Like you cannot combat that. It's an arms race. It's like cheating, right? It's just like an arms race. So yeah, but no, this system's great.
Siri.
Theory's pissed that she can't boost Johnny.
She's pissed because it's 5:45, and generally this time we go out and play catch or fetch. And so she's been emo for like 2 hours, just like, why are you sitting at your chair for 2 hours? You know, she's an active dog.
God.
She wants to go play. Don't worry, we're gonna wrap up this podcast now.
Just throw the ball back and forth while you're in the chair.
Come here. We're gonna wrap up the show very soon.
All right, I can't stop laughing at that comment tweet. I'm not gonna lie. We need to end the stream.
All right. We got two more things. First of all, Blizzard and NetEase renew their Chinese operating agreement.
Oh yeah.
So this summer, sometimes people in China will be able to play Overwatch again. We're not gonna get Hangzhou Spark for the Dallas Major. Maybe there'll be some way they can compete again legally in OWCS. We hope. We pray. Anyway, China seems to be back. So thank you for restoring that kind of.
I have a comment.
Yeah, go for it.
I think obviously China's not going to get added back into OWCS for this year because it's too soon.
That seems optimistic.
And the calendar and all the formats have been set in stone. But I would hope that being the game is available again later on in the year, that Chinese players can at least be imports, because right now they're not even allowed to be imports. But at least second half of the year, if they can be imports for Split 2, that'd be fucking sick. And then 2025, they can come back in OWCS. That'd be really good. Now, I do think they need to find a new vendor, though, because I don't think FACEIT operate in China at all. And beyond that, I don't think WDG have ever done stuff with China, and WDG has a handful. They already have like 7 days of broadcasting per week, and they're doing other games as well outside of Overwatch. So I don't know that WDG can do it, which means that Blizzard probably have to find a new partner, whether they do Bilibili again, or maybe NetEase themselves want to do it. But it seems like they'll have to find a new partner for 2025 if they want China back in OWCS.
And on top of that too, I don't know if you saw Gooseway's tweet, or like it wasn't a tweet of his, it was Chengdu Hunter's facts on Twitter. And he logged into a PC bang, like within seconds, his account got compromised and he got hacked, and someone was trying to sell it, like his Battle.net account. I'm like, holy shit! They got fucking rats and like fucking keyloggers on every PC in the PC bangs. There you go. Yeah, internet cafes for the audio listeners. I can't read that, but I can read this. So Gooshway logged onto his Overwatch account in an internet cafe, got hacked almost instantly. Gooshway said on his Weibo post, internet cafes are so advanced now, I was logged in for a moment and my account was gone. And then if you scroll down, Solomon, there's a reply to his post with a fan saying, I found the person that is selling your fucking account. Former Overwatch League player, former Overwatch League pro Gooshway's Asia server Battle.net account. No playtime, cheap deal. After buying the account, remember to change the name to AMA. Like, what?
Troll.
So they absolutely fucking trolled him. Oh, I've not seen this one actually.
The hacker returned my account?
Oh, they returned. The hacker returned my account and changed it back to how it was before. I don't know which thrower I offended recently to get my account hacked. And yeah, Goose account has been returned. Long live AMA. AMA in the comments.
Damn, it wasn't me.
Legend. That's crazy. I mean, that is some.
Okay.
You got to be careful, man, with your Battle.net accounts. I'm just saying.
Remind me
log
to never
in anywhere that's sus.
Log
also,
in
two-factor
Chinese
authentication.
Cafe.
Use that shit. Yeah, don't log into a Chinese internet cafe. There you go.
That's the lesson right here.
It's a bit sus. All right. Last one. Here we go. Bren's Player of the Week. It's Custa. He's returning this week to be casting with Jaws. Boom! Solomon had that ready to go. Oh my god!
Look at Jaws' soy pog face, by the way. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm pogging in that one. You know that event, bro? All the photos of me, I'm just pogging out of control. Like every single shot of me and Scott, I'm like pogging. There's a few that
you actually do the no way face. It's like the announcement is Custa's back, and you're doing the no way face in response to that.
No way. Yeah. Me and Scott are back. We're doing EMEA on tomorrow because we're releasing this on Friday.
Wait, there's no broadcast tomorrow.
No, well, I'm talking as in I'm pretending it's tomorrow because it's released on Friday. But tomorrow for you guys, if you're listening to it on Friday, Saturday, me and Scott will be doing EU and then NA on the Sunday.
Here we go. Looking forward to it.
We're so back.
Yeah.
I hope you get the Schwungest game.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Wait, yeah, you would actually, yeah, because that's the EMEA. It'd be the elimination match.
But I don't know what games.
Oh, yeah, maybe that actually. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know. I'm talking about my ass. All right. Plat Chat Overwatch episode 221. Any final words, Joss, before you go off and look at pictures of Avast?
I have too many of them. You can't stop me. I'll be screenshotting. Watch your back. I can't wait to see him. It's gonna be a good time.
All right. Thank you, AVRL, for being on. I'll see you next week. It'll be a good one. We'll talk about the balance changes. Season 10. We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about mythic skins, mercies. It's gonna be great. Whoa. Goodbye.